Spotted line, they're all in line, we're ready for the start. They're off in the Kentucky Derby.
All right. Derby day. Bram looks disappointed because he didn't get his hype music.
That was magical, Dan. That was really. Did you pick that? Is that from your Spotify playlist, Dan? That was pretty good.
That's a Greg special. Happy Derby Day, everyone. Dan Tordjman here, Ren Carothers, Matt Bernier, Bram Weinstein. We're here to carry you the rest of the way through. We'll take you right through the Kentucky Derby. Post time tonight, 7:01. Bram, 7:01.
Of course. You know, had we started at 4:01, I wouldn't complain. But we started at 4:00, and therefore I get to complain, Dan.
That's right.
All right.
Why didn't we start at noon today, Dan? I don't know. Why are we doing a telethon today, Dan? What happened?
I didn't want to hear you complain. I would have started at noon. I've been betting since 11 a.m., so it wouldn't have made much of a difference. So we've got a stacked show for you on tap. We're going to have racing legends coming up. Chris McCarron is going to join us. We're going to have live reports from Churchill Downs. Anise Monpleasure's out there for us, reporting on the Kentucky Derby. She'll be joining us. And then we've got a big celebrity guest coming up. If there are any Bachelor fans watching right now, they'll be tuning in closer to 6 o'clock when we have Ari Lyondike and Lauren Lyondike from the show The Bachelor. They're throwing a house party, so they're going to be joining us as well. And we've also got a couple of horse owners who will stop in, including one who's a close friend of ours who will have a horse running in the Turf Classic before the Derby. So they'll be watching that race with us live. So super excited, but there is betting to get into right away. Ren, I know specialty is these particular races, 2-year-olds, and one of the biggest 2-year-old races of the year is about to go off at Churchill Downs.
I know.
What are you looking at in the Iroquois?
Well, absolutely. And you've got, the thing that's tricky with a race like this is because you don't have much to go on, right? You kind of have some figures look better than others, obviously, the standout being, of course, the ride of a lifetime. This is a horse that I really did like in the Saratoga Special, lost to Jackie's Warrior, who is now 2 for 2. But the thing about this horse, he was so professional in that start. I know he's your favorite. I know you're not getting a price, but the pedigree suggests that what you're seeing there with those figures, that's legitimate. It's, again, a really good pedigree. You're by Candy Ride won the Pacific Classic. So this is a horse who's 2 years old who should develop nicely into a 3-year-old season. The mom won the debutante at Churchill Downs, so there's more incentive to like this horse. She was grade 3 placed in a sloppy Honeybee. The Dam Sire won the grade 2 Lexington. He was second in the 2002 Derby to War Emblem at 23-1. Second dam is by Go Zapper. So again, more reason to think this horse is just going to get better as he gets older. And the family is that of Bolnesian. And the reason I love that is because Bolnesian would go on to sire Bold Reasoning, who would then sire Seattle Slew, your Triple Crown champion of 1977.
Well done. That was just boom, 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 boom. Matt, what do you say?
I like the 8 quite a bit in here. Midnight Bourbon, 1 of 2 in here for Steve Asmussen. It feels like all of Asmussen.
That's my second choice. I don't want Matt. And I sent an email, so I don't want to make it sound like I'm just hopping on. It's my second choice. And go ahead. You talk about it, and I'll tell you why.
It feels like all of Asmussen's 2-year-olds are firing, boys or girls. This horse here, the pedigree is there. Obviously, we know Tiz now what he accomplished out on the racetrack at a distance of ground. Take a look. This one's a half to Gervin, who was the grade 1 winner of the Haskell just a few years back. More importantly for me, though, at this point in these 2-year-olds' career, this is a horse who's already proven at the mile distance. Many of these other boys are stretching out in distance, whether it be 6 furlongs, 5.5 furlongs, 5, whatever it may be. The mile distance isn't going to be the thing that gets this horse beat. Frankly, the way that he projects, I would imagine longer will only be better for him. But I just love that progression we saw in that second lifetime start at Ellis Park most recently. He sat comfortably off of a target, loomed up on the outside without any real asking, and drew off for fun. It's a quick turnaround, but Steve Asmussen has actually done quite a good job with these sort of 2-week turnarounds in the past, especially with winner last out. So Midnight Bourbon, frankly, I thought he was going to end up being a shorter price than he is. He's 9-2 right now. I thought he would end up in that sort of 3-1 range. He is ultimately where I landed in a race where, look, I would take either of the Asmussens. I do think that Lucas's horse on the outside at 24-1 is being overlooked entirely. A horse that defeated the horse that I like, Midnight Bourbon, in the career debut. And if I was going to throw another horse in there, he's taking quite a bit of money early here. That's the number 4. I say early. We've only got a few minutes left. The 4, Ultimate Badger, just with the way that he finished. But as far as on top honors are concerned, I landed on the 8.
Yeah, well, he said why. I mean, just by virtue of the fact that you've got a horse who's so accomplished, like Gervin in the pedigree there. He won the Haskell, so in addition to the Louisiana Derby and the Risen Star. So definitely, you've got to like a horse with this type of pedigree. Also, with the fact that he's by Tiz now, the fact that he debuted in July. I mean, he's just going to get bigger as they grow up. He's a 2-year-old, and Tiz now is a giant horse. And then the bottom side, you're having Malibu Moon. So Malibu Moon's a son of AP Indy. So again, wait for the maturation process. And the fact that he showed up in that last start, absolutely, you've got to be incentivized by that. And it is interesting also with the Asmussen factor, just the fact that also he's got a horse in there that his son is listed as part owner of and who his son had been riding is kind of interesting. But yeah, here I'm going to go with the Corrales. Corrales paired Midnight Bourbon as the second pick.
Bram, you're already ahead because you're the only one not wearing a jacket. And I can tell you as somebody who is and who's already just sweating like crazy. Should
I have dressed up for this? Should I have dressed up a little bit more? I thought this was the dress down derby, Dan.
We leave you off all the emails.
Wearing a suit in my basement feels weird.
I thought Jim might show up in his pajamas today.
Yeah. So I like the other Asmussen horse, the one Santana's on Superstock. I like that one today. Won $113,000 race at Lone Star. Got lead, got passed, got lead again, pulled away. I like that. I also like Ultimate Badger a little bit. 5 furlongs and 58 muddy track, won easily. I like that one too. And this, listen, I'll leave this up to the professionals because this is a hunch race for me. I mean, 2-year-olds, lightly raced, all of them have won. You tell me who's good. I don't really know, but I'm not going to go with a horse that's even money, even though obviously everything says that's the way you should go. But I'm not going to do that here. I want to try to get something. So my gut says Superstock right now, and that's probably where I'm going to go. And I like the 4 a little bit. I can be talked into it. And on the hunch part of it, I don't know what it is about Castellano on the 7 Pico de Oro, but there's something about that one that kind of is sticking out to me as well. So 3, 4, 7, one of them I think upsets the 10, and I'm probably going to land on Superstock in the end.
Pico de Oro is kind of interesting also, son of Curlin here, and the second dam is multiple grade 1 winner, Champagne d'Oro. She won the Acorn in the test. She's a half-sister to Ruler on Ice, who won the Belmont Stakes. I believe that was for Kelly Breen. But the other thing, Ultimate Badger, the only thing, I kind of liked him too, but I wonder if he got moved up by virtue of the track being off, because AP Indy is a great influence for an off track. But that being said, Talamo I'm wondering if Talamo had his pick of horses and went with him. Because he had originally ridden sitting on Go.
So the race is off, by the way, just to give everyone a heads up. It just broke.
Yes.
It is. The race is off.
Man. Thanks for the warning. Oh, man.
Ride of a lifetime on the front end, right? Winging it. So looks like he's going to establish a lead here, trying to open up a little bit of daylight. Behind him, you've got Drop Anchor, forwardly placed on the rail. To the outside, the long shot that Matt mentioned, Notary, getting a nice 2-path stalking trip.
So, to real quick about that horse, it's one of those things from a handicapping standpoint. I have the horse covered in my multis, but just because the horse isn't necessarily as fast on paper, if you like the 8, you kind of by default have to think the 11's intriguing because he's 6 times the price.
Mm-hmm. And the 8, by the way, at this moment has been 4 wide all the way around, and is being asked and is moving forward, still making a little bit of a move. To be honest, horse down on the rail, the 3 Superstock looks decent, but no, he's
Midnight Bourbon should win from here.
Yeah, you would think.
I mean, he unless somebody just rolls from the back of the pack, which is possible. You've got a horse really picking it up on the outside. I'll be disappointed. I'll be disappointed if the 8 doesn't win. That's
sitting on Go.
And it's the Deuce that's going to get the job done, I think.
Oh, the Brody's Cause horse.
Wow, 26-1.
He was very professional in that in that debut, I do have to say. And I was
So here's the bad news. I mean, that was
we're out.
We put together 2 tickets that I didn't mention yet because I wanted us to get through this first leg, which I assumed we would because we had decent coverage. We did not have that horse. So our team ticket.
I'm gonna throw up.
Down.
And I guess it's easy.
Or are we just not going to show it now? Like, what's the deal with that?
Doesn't make sense to show it. I mean, we could if you want to see what we had the rest of the way. We actually had 2 tickets, one with the 10 singled, and the other one with 3, 4, 7, 8, 10. So
can I just redboard for a second? On my in my notes here. And
you can't redboard because you had an opportunity to give us this horse, and you didn't give us this horse.
I know, but just like I have written in my notes, very professional, showed gears, was able to follow direction without hesitation. Second dam, who like Brody's Cause, is by Giants Causeway, so he's inbred to Giants Causeway. Is a half to Euro highway sprinter, Lucayan Prince, and Louisiana Derby winner comic strip.
I think something you may want to keep an eye on. This is, for both of the winning you're in juvenile races, Romans for the Albaugh family.
Congratulations to Jason Luch and the whole team, by the way.
That's right.
Yeah, both. The filly was very impressive the other day, and this horse obviously was as well. And I think this is also something to keep in mind if you're handicapping 2-year-old races and going through inexperienced runners. They can jump up so dramatically from start 1 to 2, start 2 to 3, that sort of thing. Frankly, I thought this horse looked good. I didn't think he was going to be able to take a step forward the way that he did here this afternoon. So I didn't have him in my pick 6, and I didn't put a pick 5 in, so it doesn't make a difference to me. But it was an impressive finish. The pace seemingly set up for him, although you need to take a look at it. The Ride of a Lifetime, he still hung on for 4th. Midnight Bourbon was in close attendance. Maybe I was a little bit uncharitable saying I would be disappointed if he didn't win. I just thought he looked like a winner, at the quarter pole. And this horse did roll from the back of the pack. So we'll see. I'll be very curious to see what we get for figures that come out of this race. Final time in 35 flat. I believe the Pat Day, which was run just prior to this, was a few ticks faster, but those are 3-year-olds compared to 2-year-olds. So do with that what you will. It'll be interesting to see what we get numbers wise. And look, at the end of the day, when push comes to shove, Sitting on Go is now in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile.
Congratulations, Superstars Friday.
Real quick, we've got a couple of people that are in the green room right now. I see Justin Powell. I'm going to ask him to hang tight with me with us for just a few more seconds. And we bring in our first live report from Churchill. It's Anise Montplaisir. Anise, how you doing?
I'm good. Can you guys hear me? How's it going?
We can hear you. Everything looks good. Where are you exactly?
So I am in the grandstands, right about in the smack dab center of Churchill Downs, facing the finish line. We just finished up the Iroquois, so a lot of excitement all around.
Did you have a lot of money on Sitting on Go?
I did not, sadly. My only bet today so far, I had Bodie Express to show. I had confidence in him getting up there, but not quite enough confidence for him to get up to win. So I made some money. We're good.
Nice.
All right.
It sounds like somebody behind you is excited.
Yes, there's a lot of excitement behind me. It's actually kind of hard to hear, but now it's kind of all around. I hope some people hit some big bets. It sounds like it.
Tell us what you've been doing out there. We've kind of teased it a little bit that we have content coming in live from the track. I know you've been getting some interviews. We've got a couple on deck that we're going to show people like live in the moment, and so some that we've obviously edited for our viewers. Who are some of the people you've run into, and what are some of the stories you're seeing and hearing?
Yes, I've been going around doing some photography and interviews with people. We caught up with Dale Romans, Dallas Stewart, Jack Melman. Let's see, we had James Graham earlier. So we've had a great mix of people, a great mix of interviews that are going to be coming out. And it's just a really positive vibe. I'd say that everybody in general is very thankful for the fact that, we get to be here. We get to have a Kentucky Derby. And, it's just a tradition, even in and amongst a very odd year.
You guys could ask questions too.
Oh gosh, well, I said I love her face mask. It's definitely getting the word out about the Thoroughbred Retirement Foundation.
Yeah, we've got a couple out here who are sporting off the track Thoroughbred. They've got the masks on. I like it this year. I kind of wish that I had gotten ahead of things and come up with like maskinators instead of fascinators, and then blinged out masks and sold them for a lot of money. But apparently I was a little bit behind on that. But
I don't know how effective it would be to breathe through that, but
yeah, I've seen a couple like lacy ones, and I wonder even actually how sanitary those are. But that's cool. To each their own, And actually behind me, we have the team on La Trifecta.
Oh,
bilingual Spanish show. So we're all here. We've got a great team, and they're here supporting Bodie Express. So
decent run. By the way,
Yeah,
Tatiana watching wants a Maskinator.
See,
sell her
like
one of
this
those.
could have been a thing. This really could have been a thing, and I just was not quick enough to. I was not opportunist and saleswoman enough. But no, still, great fashion. People are very dressed up, fascinators, and it's kind of cool.
All right, at this point, you got to tell the people behind you to stop. There's a window for celebration. It is now 5 minutes past the race. They can stop now.
I can't even tell where it's coming from now.
Dan would not be this sour if we didn't get knocked out of our ticket.
Look, if I had a Breeders' Cup runner,
Yes.
I would probably be making that sort of noise too.
Well, they better own the horse. That's what I'm saying. They better own the horse. If they don't, it's a little exaggerated.
Can you
All
go
right.
run over to them? I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know
we're trying to keep
are.
Anise out of harm's way here.
Oh, okay.
It's covering the Derby here. Liability here. She's there for ABR. All right, before we let you go, we got two handicappers in the green room, but we want your pick. Give us a Derby pick, and then we'll let you get back to work.
Oh boy. Okay. So
You had to be expecting that, right?
my superfecta is going to be Max Player, Honor AP, Tis the Law, and 1,000 Words. So
Okay.
take
I like
that
that.
out.
It's the Albon.
I like that.
So,
All right.
there you go.
Anise, thank you for checking in with us. Keep doing what you're doing. You're crushing it. We're going to show some of the videos, some of the interviews you've been doing. We'll show those in a little bit.
So cool. Thank you guys. Happy Derby. Have a good one.
Enjoy.
We'll see you soon.
Dan, I feel like we needed to make some masks for this. I just feel like that should have happened. You should have had a Finnick the Fierce mask on right now. I think it's really.
It's not even in the race.
Huh? Oh, well.
It'd be like an iPad. Yeah.
Who do you like? Attachment rate? Isn't that your? Is that
Yeah, it's attachment rate.
Attachment rate. You should have put that on. Attachment rate mask.
You have plenty of time to heckle me for that. There's still time. Currently 51-1 on attachment rate.
And I will. I will.
All right, two new guests you just saw pop in from Yahoo Sports. Justin Powell, welcome back to the show.
How are you guys doing today?
What's up?
Good.
How we doing?
Can I just say, Justin wrote a phenomenal article, a write-up about how he sees the Kentucky Derby playing out. Can you tell people where they can check that out?
Well, it's on Yahoo Sports. It published yesterday afternoon, and it's just basically navigating, looking for value around Tis the Law in the Derby. I identified a couple long shots like New York Traffic, 1,000 Words, and Money Moves. So I just looked around, see what kind of superfectas, exotic wagers you can do to make the most of it.
My favorite line from that article by far was, the only law Tis the Law lives by is that he wins.
You like that.
I love that.
We also have joining us senior writer at Horse Racing Nation and host of Horse Center, Zipsy. Brian, how you doing?
Dano, what's up, man? This is cool. I've never been on with 6 people at the same time before. This is way above my pay grade as far as technology knowledge.
There about to be a lot more on. So,
did you just call us morons? What?
They'll turn into the Brady Bunch in a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah. We're getting close. Justin, you got into it a little bit, but the focus of your whole piece was how to make money betting Tis the Law. I think that's a great question for anyone watching. Mm-hmm. How do you root for Tis the Law to win? And hopefully he wins. We got a Triple Crown story, but also make money in the process if he does win. What did you land on? What is the strategy? Right.
Well, basically what I did was I'm rooting for Tis the Law. I like to see greatness. I like to be a part of history and all that. So I'm anticipating Tis the Law will win. And even if he doesn't, I'm not willing to bet that one of the other horses will more likely to win. But anyway, I say all that to say I've identified, like I mentioned, New York Traffic, 1,000 Words, and Money Moves. And I'm also going to combine that with Tis the Law, Honor AP, and so I'm going to authentic. So Honor, Tis the Law, authentic, Honor AP. I'm going to box all those into trifecta with New York Traffic, and 1,000 Words of Money moves. And I'm trying to see if, there's a lot of pace scenarios that can play themselves out. And I think that gives me the best coverage. If New York Traffic, Authentic, go to lead and keep the lead early on, then you might see a Tislaw rumbling late if he doesn't get the win or honor AP, and vice versa. 1,000 Words has kind of showed the ability to front run like he did last time in his Unified Stakes. And then, so, I'm kind of just giving myself coverage depending on how the pace scenarios work out.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I mean, that's the way you got to sort of envision the race unfolding in a number of different ways. I actually, the more I think about it, the more I really like 1,000 Words. I mean, I think there's a very good chance Paco wipes out the last, the 15, every horse outside of him, and every horse inside of him who has speed. Well, they've got an advantage. So,
are we going to play a pick 4 ticket or no?
I mean, well, here I'm going to bring in another person who can.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut him off from thank you. I'm thinking about making money before this next race goes on.
Yeah, no, I know. We'll let Mike help us figure that out from the Racing Dudes Magic Bike Show. Mike Samich. Mike, that was a pretty terrible way to get knocked out in the first leg.
Yeah, that wasn't fun, man. The other Romans got us. I mean, it's supposed to be the other Brown if you miss one of those, but the other Romans is not something you get used to. So that was a little bit of a bummer. You knew that race had potential for a bomb to come in, and when you saw that 45 half come up, I just started shaking my head because all of our horses were a little too close to that pace. You knew someone was going to run in from the back.
Yeah, I was hoping Romans would use his one time on the Derby with attachment rate. So now that happened, I think the odds of it happening again are pretty wild. I mean, it's probably not going to happen. So let's just say that I'm not going to hold my breath. Speaking of Dale Romans, we did do an interview with him just a little while ago. If Greg is standing by, he could pop that up in just a moment. And after that, we're going to come back to Brian because Brian, we haven't even let you say anything yet. So we want to hear from you, Greg.
He's like, and this is why I don't like being on shows with 8 people.
All right. Let's do the Romans video.
The routine changed big time, and then usually I have 30 people at my house waiting, and I'll go in, get cleaned up, and get ready. Here's the biggest thing: come out for ticket distribution in my living room, and everybody has to get in certain areas, and we count them out and make sure everybody's covered. So today there were my 2 children and their future spouses and Tammy at the house, and they said, "Do you want us to sit here and you can yell at us and give us tickets just for old time's sake, just to keep the tradition alive?" But it didn't happen this year. I'm thankful for the fact that we can keep the streak alive of the longest continually running sporting event in American history. We can all know that we like to have people here, but we're here running. And the few of us that are here, it seems like a good atmosphere, good environment. I know a lot of people around this city are having some good parties and having fun at home, and hopefully everybody keeps upbeat and enjoys the Derby.
All right. Well, you know that feeling, Brian. You've been to the Derby many a times. A little weird, right? A little strange.
This is strange, but I want to bet $2 to win right now on Dale Roman's sport jacket because that thing was sweet. Hey, I wish you had me on about 12, 15 minutes earlier, sitting on go.
No.
Yes.
Don't say that.
I've been pick 3s. I'm red boarding. I hate to red board, but I'm red boarding. I had sitting on go, pick 3s. I'm alive to a newspaper record here, and then I got more going on in the turf. So you just got me on late, man. That was not good planning by you, Dan.
Can we rate Dale Roman's COVID beard 1 to 10? What did you think about the COVID beard he was sporting?
10, if I've ever seen a 10.
Yeah. I mean, you're
the confident guy in the world.
That's not messy enough for COVID 2020. I mean, you really got to let that thing grow out a little bit. The Roman's beard, I'll give it a 6 or a 7, somewhere in there, I think.
Yeah, I concur.
He and Andrew Luck, man, that neck beard is strong. That's a big move there.
A neck beard. I'm sorry.
Brian, we were talking a little bit about the pace in the Derby. How do you see it unfolding, and how did that sort of play into to who you like on top?
So the pace projection I did a week ago included 3 horses on the early lead. That was Authentic. King Guillermo, who is fresh and going to go out there. I was sure King Guillermo was going to be part of the pace. And then Art Collector, I thought, wanted to be ahead of Tislaw the whole race. So I thought he was going to be really close to our pace. So 2 of them are scratched now, right? So that leaves Authentic I think I never liked Authentic at 10 furlongs, but I think he's got the lead now. New York Traffic, I think, has been a better horse since he's kind of laid second or laid third in these early races. I think he's the most likely to press. Tis the Law won't be far behind. We saw what he did in the Travers. So I don't know. I don't know how easy it's going to be Authentic. Remember in the Santa Anita Derby, when he had an outside post, he broke farther out, and that really cost him. But I guess he's got to be on the lead. I just don't like him at 1.25 miles.
Mike, how about you? The pace? How do you see it unfolding?
Yeah, man, I agree. Saratoga Slim writes a wonderful pace thesis for Racing Dudes. He's done it for 6 years now, and he projects the pace to be 47 seconds, and that was before either of those horses came out. So I would be shocked if we see anything under 47 seconds. I still don't believe Authentic can get the distance, but he is going to be sitting a pretty easy trip. I think you're going to see something very similar to the Haskell and what the pace was there, and it's going to be all about who is sitting in that second tier. Because I think if you've been watching Churchill all week, that second tier is where you've really wanted to be. And man, the outside and the way it's playing right now also favors Tis the Law as well. So it kind of feels like the track and the pace is almost setting up Tis the Law to run it, have every advantage on top of probably being the best horse in the race.
Bram, would you agree as well? I know you
can say this. I'm all over New York Traffic all day. That's where I'm going because I'm looking for a price. Listen, I think Tis the Law is going to win, but if he is off, he's the one that I'm all over, and I think I'm going to get a pretty nice price with him. And he's a fighter. He's there. I know he's going to be there in the end, and that's the one that has an enticing number attached to it. So I really, really like. I'm with everybody on Authentic. I don't expect him to be there in the end. I think he's going to get past in the stretch. And I love New York Traffic to be the dangerous one to steal this thing today.
Dale looks like Santa. Maybe he gives Dan an early Christmas present. I like that. Let's hope. I'm still praying for attachment rate. Look, a lot has to work out for attachment rate, but there's still some time before the Derby. I saw someone ask earlier, when is the Derby? Post time is 7:01. I'll open this up. We've got the start of the pick 4 here, race 11. It's going to be the Longines Churchill Distaff Turf Mile. 3 scratches. She's on the warpath. Harmless. No, 2 scratches. Just those 2. Newspaper record 3-5. Is anyone beating her? Matt?
I would say it's unlikely. She projects to go out there and just sort of wing it on the front end as she has in almost all of her lifetime victories, excluding the career debut. Initially I thought I think she moves up on softer ground, but that doesn't mean that she's incapable of performing on firmer going like she did in that most recent start in the Justa game. I'm more concerned, honestly, about the form of the Justa game because the horses that have exited that race, they really haven't done a heck of a lot. Having said that, the tactical edge that she's going to have, she's far and away the most likely winner. I'm not going to recommend you betting her at 3-5 because I don't think she's necessarily that much of an overload. She doesn't lay over this field that much, in my opinion. If I were so, courageous, I'd probably be looking at a horse like the 7 La Signare, who in the most recent start in the Jenny Wiley, I think she ran into an even more talented horse in Rushing Fall. That was also a race that featured absolutely no pace whatsoever. And you go to the run 2 starts back, I think she was actually quite unlucky not to win the Mint Julep. She got stopped at a pretty critical juncture at the top of the lane. If she's able to get through there with clean run, I think she wins that race pretty easily. So if I was going to try to beat her outright, newspaper of record, which I'm not going to, I'm going to probably use both of them as far as the picks are concerned and just weight them accordingly. The only other horse I'm mildly intrigued with is the 7.
Anyone else trying to get creative here?
No. I mean, the only other horse that I liked was Juliet Foxtrot. But, I mean, she's just been in against deep competition, so she's used to contending against the type of class that newspaper record brings to the table. But if I can be a company person for a second, can I just say really quickly, just form lines of the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies Turf, just in the last 4 years. I mean, we've had Schering, who just won the Edgewood yesterday, win it. We've had now newspaper record. We see what she's gone on to do. Rushing Fall, 2-time winner now of the Jenny Wiley, just got 102 buyer winning the Diana Stakes. I mean, you've got Catch a Glimpse, Lady Eli, New Money. I mean, it's just been a really solid race.
Yeah, and that's not usually the case with Breeders' Cup juvenile races. We usually see them go the other way, but you're right, Ren. The Breeders' Cup juvenile fillies turf. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
I thought there were 2 singles in these 2 days. Monomoy Girl yesterday, newspaper record today. She's going to go to the lead. She got enough rain on this turf course Wednesday and Thursday where it's what she wants. 1 mile, they got her doing what she wants. They're letting her go to the lead this year. and I just don't see her getting beat.
Yeah, this is one of the unfortunate situations where it looks like two irrelevant scratches are actually massive. I mean, she's on the warpath, and Harmless were the two horses that projected to go out with Newspaper of Record. You still have some pace in the race in the 8 who could go out as well, but it's not really going to probably put too much pressure on Newspaper of Record. And if you had 3 or 4 speeds in here that were out there, you might have been able to try and weaken her up. I still can't quit Juliet Foxtrot. I've been on her the last 2 races. I'm going to use her again today. I'm going to play a couple pick 3s. One of them, I am going to hammer Newspaper of Record and Tiz the Law as 2 singles. I have a big opinion in the with Digital Age as well, so I'm going to single Digital Age in that pick 4. And the other one, I'm going to try and beat her on a smaller ticket, and I'm going to be singling again later in the sequence because I think you really have to hammer an opinion to be able to make anything in this pick 4. And I'm going to go with Juliet Foxtrot as the other horse in this sequence. I mean, like you said, last time out, we're in a good race behind Rushing Fall and Jolie Olympica, 2 horses who I really like. And this is third off the layoff. You get Gaffleone on this turf course. Brad Cox has been having himself a weekend. And the price is right. Look, at 4-5 and a horse that's going to end up being closer to 2-5 in the pick 4, I'm willing to take a little bit of a swing here on a horse that should be sitting close to the pace. Do I really want her to be a length behind a Newspaper of Record going into the stretch and have to actually pass her and beat her? It's a lot to ask, but I'm going to take a little bit of a swing here and see if we can get the 3 Juliet Foxtrot home.
I think it could happen for sure.
Notice Daddy is a Legend down from 6-1 to 7-2, which would make Daddy as a Legend the second choice here. I don't know if that's just Giroux money since he's been so hot these past couple of days. Did you guys give Daddy as a Legend a chance?
I do. I mean, I do.
All right.
I don't know. Last race off the trainer switch was a total bust. So I don't know. But is she done? I don't know. You tell me. I don't know. She looks like she's of the class. I don't know if I'm going that way. Juliet Foxtrot for me feels like Bridesmaid, but that, I don't know. And I'm with Matt. I like the 7. I like the number that's attached to the 7. And that horse gets the right trip, navigates traffic, is there at the end. So I like the number with that one. What did you call him? Signare? What is it?
Look, I should probably know better given my last name, but you can tell that I butchered that as well. So I went with La Signare. Signare. Okay, cool. I don't know.
Go with that too. I like the number on that one. If I had to pick one, I'd pick Newspaper of Record, but I don't like the price. So I'm looking for someone to beat that number. And I like the 7. And Daddy is a Legend would be more enticing to me, not at 7-2, but 6-1, 7-1, something like that. I'd like that. But again, I don't know, that horse back in the day, which wasn't that long ago, was clearly of this class. So you tell me if that horse is done or not. I don't know, but I'm going to probably go the 7 here.
It just sounds better the way Matt says it.
Justin, you want to weigh in with a pronunciation?
Well, speaking of Matt, I just actually wanted to bring up an enter fan mode really quickly. Horse Players was one of my the shows that really got me into the sport. And this is my first time getting to meet you. And for, a handicapper, that's kind of like our entourage almost. So I used to, that's what really got me into it, the Phenom. So that's the kind of fancy.
We had fun with it. We had fun with it. And there are so many people that everybody that was involved with it, it's still sort of, I don't want to get, kind of soppy, but it's like an emotional thing when people come up and they go, we got involved in horse racing because we saw the show and we watched you guys out there having all that fun. So, and obviously it's opened up so many different avenues and doors for me that, I'm eternally grateful to so many people, too many people to even list here. But I always appreciate anyone who wants to talk about the show and relive some of my just horrific outfits and things of that nature from back in the day. You look at it now, it's been 7 years now. I mean, it feels like it was just yesterday, but it's been a minute. So thank you. I appreciate that.
So if Matt is Vince, is Dan Turtle or Johnny Drama? Which one
I was totally asked the same question.
He's looking like drama.
I want to play I'm Ari Gold. I'm Ari Gold for this one. All right. I'm announcing I'm Ari Gold here. I think Dan's Johnny Drama, actually. I'm going to give Dan Johnny Drama today.
I just put in a pick 4 ticket.
There we go. Back on track.
One question. Sorry, Ren.
No,
sure.
Is there any truth Nick at Night is about to roll out reruns?
I don't know why. You want to find that out there?
It is streaming. I think is it Amazon that's streaming on right now? You can't pull it from one of the streaming ones.
Yeah, there was I'm trying to remember, but someone just recently sent me a message and they said, went through and binged the whole show on Amazon. I said, "You paid for it? I apologize. I'm sorry." But anyway, you can find it out there, and I think it is Amazon. I think you're right.
We need the
You
real.
ready for that, Matt? Any residuals on that one or no?
Oh yeah, because we made a ton of money off of it.
Let me cut in real quick here. We do have a special guest in the green room that we're about to bring in. Justin, we appreciate you taking a few minutes with us. And we know you got to get back. Again, let people know where they can check you out.
Oh, thank you guys again on all the social media. Justin Powell or Justin Powell _ probably. But I'm doing some writing for Yahoo Sports, so check that out when you get the chance. You just go over to the horse section and you'll see my stuff. But thank you guys again for having me. It was a pleasure, and I hope you all enjoy the Derby today and stay safe, stay healthy, and everything. So,
thank you, Justin.
Good luck.
We'll catch up.
Take care, Justin.
Nice meeting you guys. Bye.
Bye.
All right, you guys could stay in for now, but one of you is getting the boot soon, so get ready. Chris McCarron is here.
Hi, Chris.
Hey, everybody. How are you?
Good. How you doing?
I'm doing wonderful, thank you.
Happy Derby Day.
Hey, thanks to y'all.
So tell us where you're at and how you're taking in this very strange Derby day.
Well, I'm at home in Lexington, not actually in my house, but I'm at a brand new movie theater here in Lexington called Lex Live, the Krikorian theater chain. And George invited me over. George Krikorian, I used to ride for him, invited me over to participate in watching the Derby with a bunch of his friends. And we're going to watch the Derby on an 85-foot screen.
Oh my God.
So, yeah, so we're looking forward to a wonderful race and getting to the race. I don't see anybody beating Tiz the Law. Can any one of you guys or gals come up with a horse that can possibly beat Tiz the Law?
Well, I mean, it must feel really special to you also because, you know, with the connection you have to this horse by virtue of the fact that Tiz the Law's dam, Tiz Fizz, is a daughter of a horse you rode to such heights. And I'm talking about Tiz now, the only horse to have ever won the Breeders' Cup Classic twice. And not only that, but you rode his second dam sire to Kentucky Derby victory in 1994, Go for Gin. So what is it like for you watching this horse progress to this point?
Oh, well, I, like everybody else, have been very impressed with how he has matured and gotten better with each race. I never thought I'd be saying this, but he's already proven he can go 1.25 miles. There's a few other horses that were lucky enough to run in the Travers. I don't know if they're necessarily in the Derby, but up until this year, you could never say the horse has already proven he can go that far.
Ren, since you mentioned Tiz Now, I've been excited to share with you. These have brought up a lot of emotion here. We're doing these flashbacks, ABR and Breeders' Cup, called Fantastic Finishes. And obviously, to mark this special moment with Chris being on with us, we're going to play this one.
In the gate, ready for the start of the Classic. And they're off. And the field turns for home. Here comes the arc winner, Saki, and he storms to the lead. Saki in their lead, and Tiz Now is battling on the American Horse of the Year. And the arc winner are heads apart with the Baron to go in the Classic. On the outside, Saki. Tiz Now fights on. Here's the wire, desperately close. Tiz Now wins it for America. Beating Saki right on the wire. Oh, did they deliver a thriller here at Belmont Park this afternoon.
Yeah, still get chills on the call.
I saw Brian snapping his fingers too, which leads me to believe he made money on that race as well.
No, actually, I bet him the year before. I didn't bet him that year, but I'm just happy to see that race. Every time I see that race, I wore Tiz Now pink just because I knew you were going to show the race. So, hey, I'm into it.
Chris, how does that call make you feel?
I swear to God, Dan, I never tire of watching that race. I get goosebumps every time I hear that call. And Tiz Now wins it for America. To be part of that whole celebration was a great deal of fun and incredibly exhilarating. And just it doesn't get any better unless it's the Kentucky Derby.
Well, you've ridden some of the all-time greats, and one of those horses that you did win to another Derby victory is Ali Sheba. You've also ridden the horse behind me, John Henry. And just again, do you recognize that same level of greatness when you're watching Tiz the Law? Do we get too excited about horses that we already assign that superlative?
No, every time he runs, he impresses the heck out of me. Mostly because he's got no bad habits. You know, Ali Sheba used to pull himself up when he made the lead. He gave me heart failure. That's why you didn't see Ali Sheba win by many lengths very often. And if he would just get down on his belly and run as hard as he could from the head of the stretch to the wire, he would have won his races by daylight. But this Tiz the Law, he's got great speed, but doesn't have to be in front. He looks very comfortable stalking. He's been down and behind horses, doesn't mind dirt in the face. And he doesn't come from the clouds. Unless something unforeseen happens leaving the starting gate, he's going to be well positioned going into that first turn, despite the fact he's got a post way out in, what is he, 16 or 17?
17.
Yeah. He's got good tactical speed, and that'll bode well for him, I'm sure.
Speaking of coming from the clouds, Bo Recall just came from off the screen to roll past newspaper of record at 8-1.
Wow.
Bo Recall.
Sorry about the siren, guys.
Oh no! Don't apologize.
Don't mention it's all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think of the new gate?
What do I think of the new gate?
Yeah, from a jockey's perspective, it's been long overdue, right?
Yeah, it's been long overdue. Yeah, I'm glad Churchill went ahead and spent the money and got a new gate. I think it'll be less risky. I have been in the auxiliary gate several times, and in the back of my mind, it's not something that I dwelt on, but in the back of my mind, I always thought, man, oh man, what would happen if the gates opened a split second slower or didn't open at all?
Oh, good point.
That would be a wreck. But with this new gate, they're all going to open simultaneously without any, without failure. That's for sure.
All right, Chris. We know you've got a party to get to. You've got a big screen waiting for you for the big race. We really appreciate your time, and we're thrilled to relive Tiz Now with you for a little bit.
I know I'm fangirling right now, but I'm trying to keep it down. I've been holding my hands like this, like, oh my gosh, Chris McCarron's on with me right now.
Hey, well, thanks a lot, guys. I appreciate the opportunity to come on with you. Keep up the good
work. Thank you so much,
Thanks, Chris.
You guys are doing a great job. Keep up the good work.
Thank you. Thank you.
That was awesome.
That's
pretty cool.
What's not awesome was the fact that I put that pick 4 ticket in, and I only used newspaper of record and Juliet Foxtrot, and so I'm out.
Anybody alive? Anything? Anybody use Bo Recall?
No.
I threw a saver in, so I've got a $5 ticket going in the Blake pick 4. So hopefully we can get that puppy home.
Brian, did you? I know you
show bets because I put a big one on that 7, so I'm feeling pretty nice right now.
Nice.
Brian, did you? I don't think you said you didn't have Bo Recall, did you?
City 9 go, City 9 go, City 9 go. It's all gone now. It's all gone.
No.
Paper record, and I didn't even bet to win or exactas in the previous race, so I am sadly out.
I've been fortunate enough that I've been involved with Slam Dunk Racing for the last 4 or 5 years. And Nick Casado is a great guy. He's the one who runs Slam Dunk Racing. And anytime he ships a horse like this, pay attention because he tends to put these horses in really good spots. He's gotten some big time numbers home in these races. And the turf course has been playing a little bit to closers. And that's what Bo Recall seemed to really take advantage of in this spot. And she was able to just roll home on the outside.
Okay.
Matt, you seem pretty glued to it too. Any other?
I mean, look, newspaper was rather eager early on, but I take a look at the fractions, and to Mike's point, if it's certainly, if it's a little bit tilted toward horses coming from off of it, that certainly played into the hooves of Bo. But at face value, I really don't see any excuse for newspaper of record. This should have been a race for her with the way that she had run in those two starts coming back to get a half and almost 48. And again, we kind of alluded to the fact that if she did end up with sort of the ground that she preferred with that rain that had come through Louisville earlier in the week, to me, this is a tremendous disappointment for a horse that I'm sure many people were sort of already penciling in as the favorite for the Breeders' Cup Mile. Not saying that she won't run well there or won't be a factor there, but I don't see how you can look at this race and not be disappointed. I get it. It's maybe heat of the moment and go back and look at it, but the horses who were first, second, and third at the pace call ended up being second, fourth, and third. So it's not like the pace fell apart. If newspaper of record was really at the top of her game, I think there's really no excuse that she should have won this race. And she's won at Churchill in the past, so I can't even use that as an excuse. Bo was able to dial up one of her best efforts. Obviously, she's always had a potent kick, but I'm a little bit perplexed and frankly disappointed in this effort from newspaper of record.
Well, I didn't get to see the race because I don't even know how I'm going to watch the Derby with you guys, because I have nothing in this room here. But in any case, she's always been kind of headstrong, and that was the problem that they were having with her last season, where she just was not putting it together. She was fighting the bit so much. So I didn't witness the race. Were you seeing her fighting the bit when you're saying that?
Yeah, she was ready to go early on. She had her head held high a little bit into the first turn and even down the backside. And there's a part of me that wonders if you're at a point with a horse like this, rather than have to fight her for whatever reason it may be, just let her go. Just let her open up by 10 and say, come and catch me if you're good enough. And I feel like we all, especially, those of us that are deeply involved as far as the gambling is concerned, I would rather you go down using your best asset. If speed is your game, open up. Don't get cute with it. Don't try to sit and save something for deep in the stretch. Open up and get everybody else off the bridle and say, if you're going to beat me, you got to come and catch me. And I wonder if you're at that point with a horse like this, because the run 2 starts back. I recognize it was at 7/8 of a mile. We're talking about apples to oranges, but they basically just kind of opened up on that field and said, you're not going to beat us this way. We're going to just kind of make it an insurmountable sort of margin. And even in that run most recently at Belmont, I get it. She may have only been opened up by about 2.5 at any given point, but it was an insurmountable margin. And at no point did that really seem like that was the case this afternoon. But again, even having said that, I'm not going to sit here and fault Javier for the ride. I feel like if she was what I and many of us thought she was coming into this, she should have won this race.
The one thing I would say about today, I mean, Bo Recall, especially what Matt said about the horses sticking around for third and fourth, that stalked her. Bo Recall has run occasionally big races like that, and that's a big performance to just roll by everybody in the stretch. But newspaper of record, if it rains a lot more at Keeneland, I guess we got to firm here at Churchill 5-6 hours ago, and maybe it was a little firmer than she wanted. If she gets a really wet turf course, I think she moves up. I thought it would be wet enough for her to love it today, but maybe it was truly firm.
Hey, how about that was Manny Franco too? He's locked in.
Also a guy named Brad Cox. He's doing
hell
okay.
of a weekend.
Yeah, he's doing a weekend. Yeah, I mean, they came home in 23-5. And so Bo Recall ran down, made up 5 or 10 lengths there in 23-5. So she came home in 22.5 for the final quarter mile. I mean, that's flying for anybody.
And to that point, maybe I need to not look at it and say I'm disappointed in newspaper of record, but say this was Bo Recall. We know when she's at her best, she has a wicked kick. And maybe I need to look at it more that way as opposed to necessarily be against a horse like newspaper and look at it and say just Bo Recall went and got him.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, speaking of, there's been a scratch of some speed in this next race. So I am going to say, Saren, get me if you can.
Well, let's set it up. Ren, go ahead, set it up. We got the Derby City Gaming. I preferred Humana just in terms of just something that rolled off your tongue a little easier. The Derby City Gaming Distaff. Set it up for us, Ren.
Well, we've got Serengeti Empress coming off that insane performance in the Grade 1 Ballerina, in which she went the hack in 43-3 and just kept on powering home. to a one-leg victory going, essentially gate to wire. So I am stoked to see what she does out of here. We see Bellafina returning, who ran second to her in that event. I just don't see anybody going with this horse. Again, she is grade 1 speed. Put it away. Serengeti if you can. That's it.
Perfect. While you were full screen, I'm going to completely disagree, and we'll see where everyone else. I love Serengeti Empress. She has never put together 2 good races, so she's going to bounce to the moon.
No,
she's going to unfortunately, even though there's no other speed to press her, she's not winning this race. I'm sorry. That's my take. Everyone.
And that's not true. She put together 2 huge races way back when in the Ellis Park Debutante and the Pocahontas going back to Churchill Downs. Hey, she's a very likable horse, Ren. I'm with you.
Thank you, Brian, because you're smart.
That last race was the performance of the year. No one is, not even Tiz the Law has run a race that ridiculous. I'm sorry.
I fell in love with her when she lost the test to Kofefi. Because she before had just quit off the board when she got passed. She showed so much heart going 7 furlongs that day, and since then has just had she has no quit in her now. And I love that aspect from a speed horse, where when someone comes up to him, they're just like, "No, you are not passing me. I'm putting my nose down." Right. So I love her, and I have her here. I'm playing Bell's the 1-2 as a price of the 4, hoping to come from off the pace. But I think Serengeti Empress is going to be awfully tough in this spot, just because she has so much heart. And 7 furlongs hits her right between the eyes. It allows her to really utilize that burner speed and be able to still have something left turning for home.
That was something too. Dan said 3 weeks ago that Tiz the Law race was the best race he'd ever seen in his life. So he changed his mind within 3 weeks.
Give him 3 more hours. He'll go back.
Bo Recall just ran one of the best races I've ever seen.
I wish I could have seen it.
Brian, you're on Serengeti as well. Is that right? Just sticking with Serengeti.
Did you ask me?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Serengeti. I think 7 furlongs is an awesome distance for her with her speed and her ability to fight. I hated the way she packed it in against Midnight Pursue a couple starts ago, but it looks like 7 furlongs. You look at that test, you look at her race as a 2-year-old at 7 furlongs, and now you look what she did last time at Saratoga in the Ballerina, and it's tough. There's not a ton of speed in here, as you guys have mentioned. She's not the favorite, guys. Right now, Cece is the favorite, and I could see Cece cutting back and running a good race, but part of it is rooting. I want to see Serengeti Empress kind of win this race. She's the Kentucky Oaks champ from last year.
That's right.
Matt, you're my last hope.
Look, if we're just doing it on basic handicapping, she's loose on the lead. She's arguably the most talented horse in the race. There's many reasons to say that she's just going to win. There's a part of me that wonders, and we won't know until they run the race, how much of the lemon was squeezed in that Ballerina to run the way that she did, have to be hustled up there, run as fast as she did, and be able to hang on at the 7/8. It's a quick turnaround. It was only, 3-4 weeks ago. Again, I can't imagine she'd be here if she wasn't sitting on tilt ready to go. But I'm going to stick with my initial opinion. I know the pace may not set up for her. I've long believed Sally's Curlin is a considerably better horse than people give her credit for. She is the definition of a one-turn horse. Go through her past performances. When they've run her at 2 turns, she doesn't pick her feet up. When they run her at 1 turn, she needs a little bit of pace. And unfortunately, that's always going to be a detriment for a horse on dirt, that if you're sort of pace dependent, you're always going to be up against it. But she likes Churchill Downs. She has delivered, I think, impressive performances time and time again. I think the Madison was much better than it looks on paper, given the pace situation that day with Gorana and Mia Mischief. They both just walked out there on the front end. For Sally to come running the way that she did, I thought was actually quite encouraging. And I sound like a broken record. Win, lose, or draw, I wanted to at least get a piece of this thing so the connections continue on to the Breeders' Cup, because I want to bet her back at Keeneland, where there's going to be much more pace in a race like this at 7/8 of a mile. So I'm going to stick with Sally's Curlin. But to Mike's point as well, I think for me it was 4 and 6. Bell's the 1 and Sally's Curlin. That was before all the defections. I don't know if the pace is going to work for either of the girls, but I'm going to stick with it, 4 and 6.
At 8-1, give me Sally's Curlin. I'm with you, as you mentioned. 3 for 6 at Churchill Downs. I thought ran a sneaky good race in the Madison. It was basically a 2-horse race from the break, Garanami and Mischief, and no one really made a move from the back except for Sally's Curlin. CJ Thoroughbreds, a fan of a friend of the family. Always root for them. And Dale Romans. I mean, let's make it a special day here. May as well win 3 big stakes today.
I get to see that neck beard again. Ooh.
We'll see. We're not going to show you the neck beard, but we are going to show you another video right now from Churchill Downs today. One of the long shots in the race, Major Fed. We caught up with his jockey, James Graham, a little while ago.
I'm looking forward to it. It's one of those things. You just have to hope and pray for a good, clean trip, and hopefully we can pick up the pieces, which I think we can. We've got a great shot. A little unlucky his last couple of starts, and today, hopefully we can rectify it. Well, you only hear the noise in the post parade. Once the gates open, all you can hear is hoofbeats and people screaming at you. So generally doesn't be there unless you're looking for it, Always got good juju on Derby Day. Always got it.
He said you got to pray. How much praying exactly do they need to do with that horse?
Hey, after watching rallies, who knows, man? I'll tell you this. I have a lot of financial interest in Major Fed right now, only from a betting standpoint. I bet She Dares the Devil, Major Fed, crazy future wager.
That would be crazy.
Crazy future wager. Yeah, $2 is paying like more than I bet in a year. So if Major Fed wins, I'll be happy. I don't expect it, but that one by far and away is the big payoff of my She Dares the Devil's future wager. So I'm with James Graham. Let's go Major Fed.
Let's go Major Fed. Brian, we've got another person in the green room. We're going to let you go as the order goes, right? You're the last one or the first one in, first one. I don't know, whatever it is. Give us a pick 3. I know we've just give us a pick 3. There's 3 races left here. I know I'm asking you for a lot. I didn't prep you for this, but give us a pick 3 ending in the Derby.
Dan, if I were you, I would have gotten rid of me as well. But my pick 3 will be this. I'll go Serengeti Empress Bell's the one in this race. I think it's a wide open turf, Old Forester Bourbon turf. But Mr. Dumas, I think Mr. Dumas is a very interesting long shot in that race.
It's not Dumas.
I think he can rally. And I just saw a rally in the last turf race. So give me Mr. Dumas. And then I'm going to play my top 3 in the Derby, which are, of course, Tis the Law, Honor AP, and New York Traffic. But, hey, if Major Fed wins, so be it.
Well, Brian, thank you for taking the time to chill with us for a little bit. Good luck the rest of the way.
I appreciate it.
Soon, all right?
You all win. Yeah.
Be well.
See ya.
Be good. Mike, what's your deal? You got to head out soon, don't you? Oh, I can't hear you.
Sorry about that. I got about 10 minutes and then I got to call it.
All right. Well, hang with us for a few more minutes. Where's
he going?
He's got another show to do.
I'm jumping on another one.
Kentucky Derby? Like what? You got some superstitious thing you got to do? Like where you got to go?
No, this is my second of 3 shows today.
Ah, got it.
We've got
just making the rounds.
I only got 2 shows.
Co-host of the Champagne and JD podcast, Australian racing betting expert JD Fox. Welcome to the show, brother. How you doing?
I'm doing well, Dan. Been watching everything today. The Chris McCarron stories, they never get old. I got a chance to do some work with him a few weeks ago, and obviously the work was great, but the 20 minutes before and the 40 minutes after were some of my highlights of 2020. Just listening to him talk, I can listen to him talk all day.
Yeah,
that was absolutely phenomenal. We have one more guest in the guest room. Hold on one second.
What?
Nikki.
Hello.
Hey. How you doing?
You said the Australian betting expert. I was expecting my name, not JD's.
Oh,
I mean that's true. We have 2 people that definitely know a little bit about Australia now, and maybe we can talk about the gate. I guess we might be useful for that.
There we go.
Go ahead, talk about the gate. Kick it off. This came up earlier. We offered no insight. So
yeah. So So structurally, the gate is very similar inside, but it's narrower. So you have the same walking rails for the assistant starters that you would on a larger gate. But in Australia, there's either no assistant starter in the gate or the assistant starter is behind. So the assistant starter, if they need to come in and help the horse, they will do that and they will walk behind the horse, or if they need to pull a barrier blanket or one of those things. So it was not really designed for what they're going to use it for. The possibility of locking knees with the jockey getting out of the irons right at the start, I'm not saying it's a high possibility, but there is a possibility there just because it's narrower. And I think the big thing you guys can look at when the picture started and then you obviously saw the first race, the test race with it, is just how much more room there is in general. And part of that is obviously the auxiliary portion of the gate, and part of that is the fact that it's just narrower bursts at each part of the machine.
I don't know if Nikki was muting you or if she was responding to a text message.
No, I was changing my volume. It's good.
Nikki, you have fans here on the show already.
Yeah.
This is pretty good.
Nice.
All right. Before you jumped on, we know we only have a few minutes left with Mike. Mike, before we let you go, just wanted to get you to do sort of something similar to what we had Brian do before he left. Just kind of give us a little bit of an outlook for the next 3 races, how you would attack them.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm going to probably play a couple pick 3s here. I'm going to play a larger pick 3 where I'm going to go with the 8 and the 4 on top. I like Serengeti Empress and Bell's the 1 in this spot. Next race is one of my better plays. I think Digital Age is sitting on a big one. I think Digital Age is going to run absolutely huge. I also like Sacred Life from Brown, so I'm going to probably play 4-8 there. And then I'm going to play on my smaller ticket in the last race. I'm going to throw Money Moves in there for the simple reason that we've seen all of these horses run so much all year. We have so much information on the quote-unquote contenders that we've seen at the top. We have this other Pletcher horse who's coming in with 0 points, who's coming third off a layoff, kind of third in that cycle that we know Pletcher does so well, aiming for the first Saturday in May. Now we're doing it the first Saturday in September. And I know what all the other horses are. I don't really know what Money Moves is. I think if you're going to see a logical progression from any of these horses, a big jump, it's going to be Money Moves that makes it. Now, he's either going to completely miss the board or have a shot at winning the race. There's really not much middle ground, but at 30-1 in pick 3s, I think it's worthwhile throwing him in there. And then I'm probably going to play something short and just hammer Serengeti Empress to Digital Age to Tis the Law and see if I can get that many times to try and make it worthwhile.
All right, that sounds good. Mike, let people know, even though I'm sure most people already know, where to find you.
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at Samobomb18. I write Handicapping 301 for the Racing Dudes. And I also host the Magic Mike Show. It's a podcast on twice a week with my co-host Curtis Kelleward. His nickname's Magic, so that's where that comes from. We do a recap on Monday, and then we give out a pick 4, pick 5 sequence every Thursday.
All right. Anyone have anything else for Mike before we let him go?
Oh, well, congrats on hitting 200 shows with the Magic Mike Show this week. That was a big accomplishment, and I don't know. I'm doing a show that's at like 28, and I'm wondering how I'm going to get there.
It happens fast, my friend. It's the fun. I was the first guest, and then I just never went away, and now here we are, 200 episodes later. So it's been pretty cool to be able to do that. And we had a pretty cool show on Thursday where we had a few hundred people in the room just firing questions and talking about everything. So it was a lot of fun. I appreciate that. Thank you, JD.
Of course.
Awesome.
All right, Mike. Good luck the rest of the way. We'll see you soon. All right.
All right. Take care, everybody. Good luck.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Keep punching everybody in the face. I don't understand what she's doing. Why?
There she is. Now she's front and center. So now it's all on her.
Whatever you push that time, wrong button. Wrong button that time.
Sorry, no, I was trying to move the screen. Yeah, so we can see it better. Okay, good.
So,
Briar Winks?
What'd you say?
There's a Briar version of Winks?
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh, I have to get one.
She has her own little jacket, and oh yeah.
Oh my gosh, I would say it was for Ava, but it will be for me.
I know.
That is an expensive find right now.
Oh my god.
So I would save up for it because there's gonna be some serious sticker shock on the aftermarket because obviously that sold out immediately. So.
Yeah.
They need to have an enable one, is what I'm thinking next.
I would lose my mind.
I know.
Well, give us some handicapping here. What are you looking at? Are you playing this pick 3 sequence? Or are you just waiting for the big race? And if so, I mean, how are you betting?
No, I'm waiting on the big race. I think I like Tis the Law, but after yesterday's Oaks with She Dares the Devil winning, I kind of thought she went into that race very lightly raced. So now I'm starting after that race. I'm like, huh, you know, kind of like what he said with Money Moves. You don't know him. He's lightly raced. So I'm like, after, you know, all these horses, especially Tiz the Law, have had like a long campaign. This has been really long that no one's ever had to train up to. And I think it's a big ask for him. So, you know, you have to use Tiz the Law, but I'm definitely going to start looking at horses that are much lightly raced for a better shot.
Speaking of Tiz the Law, I mentioned we've been catching up with trainers, jockeys, and some owners at the track at Churchill Downs. And a little while ago, we caught up with Jack Knowlton with Team Tiz the Law.
Yeah, it's wonderful. You know, we're like the cicadas. We're back after 17 years. Well, I think all we got to do is look at South Dakota Stable. We won the biggest race in the world with a $75,000 horse. We're 3-5 favorite on Morning Line in this Kentucky Derby with a horse we paid $110,000 for. There are 35 people that are part owners of Tiz the Law, and they all came in for $7,500 or less, and here we are. So, you know, you don't have to be a millionaire or a billionaire. A lot of them haven't won this race. Hopefully, a little after 7 o'clock today, Saratoga can say they've done it twice. I've been every year since then, and, you know, have seen some pretty spectacular horses. I've seen 2 Triple Crown winners that started here. So, you know, I have to say Farrell probably was the most exciting one of all the ones I've been to since '03.
That's awesome. Did you watch that special, by the way, Born to Run? I was watching it last night, and I was crying.
It was good. It was really good. I thought it was really good. It was real solid. We have another guest in the green room we're about to bring in from Equibase. Ellis Starr, how you doing? Audio. No audio.
How is that for audio?
There you go. Better.
I forget I have a mute button sometimes.
How you doing so far?
All the air got out of the balloon with the Iroquois.
I know.
That was it.
Yeah, I kind of felt. I mean, I know there was sort of a little bit of what appeared to be a stand-up, but that race. That had to be an all race ultimately. I mean, I know we narrowed it down to 2 or 3 horses that made sense, but you know, I went all in like 3 different tickets in that leg. Now I've lost the other legs around them, so it doesn't matter. But that had to be an all leg. I mean, you knew that was the chaos race. I mean, it had to be the chaos race.
It was.
Yeah, do you ever listen to or read Trip Notes? There's a site called Trip Note Pros.
I don't know.
Well, I subscribed to it, and he gave out that pick.
Did it?
One of the top picks. And I was like, I didn't use it, but I'm like, I should have listened. So
Are we still talking about the Iroquois?
We're going back. We're lamenting.
My trip notes said professional, did everything asked without hesitation.
But Ren,
did I use them? No.
That's why it stings. We put in a group ticket. We're looking for bombs. We didn't need you to give us the favorite. We needed that horse.
You know what's amazing, Dan, is most of the time when you bet on all of them, you win. I mean, that's really the most amazing part of this is how somehow you found a way to lose after betting on all of them.
Okay, Bram got on you last week. I'm going to get on you this week. You said that your top 2 picks per race. I would, if I put it like how I would have structured my ticket, he would have been on there.
All right, blame me.
I abstained because we won last time when I rendered no opinion. So I decided I'll just send in my money and just you guys tell me what you're betting on. And you went over on the first lap. So
we still love you, Dan. We still love you.
Dan warned me. I sent in my ticket and said single to 10. He said there's other horses. So I thought when I got the email today, it was going to have the all button in that leg. But somebody decided to go 6 deep in the Derby instead. So.
Oh, look at this taking shot. First of all, wait till Sean gets on because you guys are poor Sean. We're sending him like opinions from like 22 people and he's condensing it down to 1 ticket. And he managed to find us a winning ticket a couple of weeks ago. So we thought he could do it again. Look, we got lucky last time. We should have been real.
Is there going to be a Preakness show for redemption?
Oh yeah, I mean, maybe just so we could put in another ticket.
Okay.
We have had that other horse, the Bo Recall. We have had that.
No, we'd be 0 for 2 right now.
Matt did say, my husband Matt said that was a spread race.
Like this isn't even spilled milk anymore. This is like ridiculous.
Yeah.
We're over early. What do we complain about? Oh darn, I missed it on that first leg. We didn't have the second leg. So it's like whatever we say, don't do that. That's all that is.
That opposite.
That's advice I give every single week, Bram, on my podcast. Whatever I'm doing, I'm telling you that so you do the opposite.
Right.
Before I've got to call timeout.
Do it. I've
got to call timeout. Like legitimately, we have a live report coming in from Churchill from my good friend Scott Shapiro. I know is short on time. Scott, of course, on-air analyst at Churchill Downs, handicapper for Twin Spires and Bet America. Scott, how you doing, brother?
Hey, everybody. How you doing? Happy Derby Day.
Oh,
Scott, how are you?
My picks have not been good, but otherwise, and it'd be nice to have fans here, but it is a beautiful, rare, beautiful day here at Churchill for the Derby.
So we know, again, you are short on time. We have a race coming up in 7 minutes, though. The Derby City Distaff. Just give us a little bit of quick analysis, and we're looking ahead to the next few races. So is there a pick 3 ticket you would suggest to the viewers to play?
It looks relatively chalky, these next 3 races. I know the Turf Classic maybe could be opened up a little bit. I thought CC looked clearly like the horse to beat in this race. The way the track's playing, I think an outside stalker should benefit. I think she comes into the race on the cutback. Should suit her style well. A little concerned about Serengeti Empress putting back-to-back races together. I know the ballerina was a tremendous effort that day. Didn't come back maybe as fast as I thought it would, but dealing with horses from start to finish that day and pulling away, holding off Bellafina late was really impressive. So CC's a single to me. The price isn't too great at 2-1 though, Dan.
But I just like the way she's come into this and freshened her up, and she made a very nice.
Dan, you are muted.
Dan, you're muted, man.
I thought it was me.
It's the host. He can't even talk.
What do you like in the Turf Classic and the Derby? Go.
Class of the field rally. But now
Sorry, I didn't hear what you said, Dan.
Yeah, the Turf Classic and the Derby.
Well, the Derby, obviously, tis the law, the horse to beat, and probably in terms of horses to bet, Honor AP to me is a horse that I think is going to run his race. Another horse that I think it's not been a tremendous bias today, but it does seem like it's been advantageous to be a little bit outside and a little bit off the pace. So I don't think drawing outside in his running style hurts him. And then maybe New York Traffic's a horse that I'm sensing Paco Lopez is going to be aggressive here. Maybe take the lead, or if not, take it too authentic if Johnny V's aggressive out of the gate. So those would be the 3 horses I want to use if you're playing a pick 3, or if you're using horses on top, maybe even in the second spot in the Derby. And then I think Sacred Life is the horse to beat in the Turf Classic. I was really impressed with his effort at Monmouth last time out. And Mr. Dumas is an honest horse. I don't know if he's good enough to win a grade 1 of this magnitude, but I really like how he tries hard every time. So maybe an underneath type horse, Mr. Dumas at a price.
Who is Mr. Dumas, by the way? Because I thought this horse looked like Alexandre Dumas, Monte Cristo, Musketeers,
Do we know who Mr. Dumas? I don't know that.
I don't know.
Because I would think it's Dumas. No?
I don't think it's the same. I mean, maybe it's just I
mean, I know he runs with his race calls, but maybe they're all wrong and I'm right.
Scott, before we let you go, how freaking weird has this whole weekend been?
It's weird. I guess for me, the only thing that's made it a little less weird is I was here all spring in the same environment where it was even less people. Mm-hmm. So kind of being used to wandering the halls with nobody around. But yeah, I mean, it's certainly, as all of you know, a much different vibe than the one we're used to experiencing here. And we're making the most of it. And like I said, the weather has helped. If it was rainy like normal, I can't even imagine what it would have been like.
Yeah, sunshine. That's the joke that we're all making for all of us who aren't there. Of course.
Yeah, right.
Maybe we got to keep some of you away with the weather here. I don't know.
All right, Scott, we'll let you get back to work. We know it's a crazy day out there for you. Thank you for popping in for a few minutes.
Yeah, it was great joining you guys. I wish you all the best of luck in the Derby and in the 2 races before. Good seeing some of your faces.
Be well, Scott. Good to see you, Scott.
All right, I have good news, though. We have another live report from Churchill Downs. Mr. Gene, are you there?
Yes, sir.
All right, Gene Kirshner, turf rider for the Buffalo News. How you doing?
I'm doing great, Dan. I'm actually sitting in section 322 here at the Derby. it's a very quiet Derby, obviously. I spent most of my time down in section 117, which is probably normally about a $2,000 or $3,000 seat, and, right by the finish line. So it's been interesting from that perspective. I was at the Belmont, so I'm in the Travers, so I kind of used to the emptiness and the weirdness. But this is different because just of the vastness of Churchill Downs and how empty it is and how quiet it is. Compared to the 150,000 spectators that you normally see. So it's definitely a unique experience, but I'm fortunate enough to be here over the weekend and enjoying my time as I can.
From a turf rider's perspective, aside from 'Tis the Law, what would be the best storyline coming out of the Derby? If you could write your story now, what would it be?
Well, for me, I mean, it would be Max Player because it's a Buffalo connection. Joseph DePirio is the fellow that runs Sport Blocks and part of that partnership from New York City, an investment hedge fund guy that moved over for George Hall to run that entity. I wrote my first story on it this morning, but his family would go down to the Sheridan Drive OTB on Saturday mornings to play the horses, and now they have a great chance to be in the winner's circle this afternoon, later this afternoon, if they can spring the big upset.
You guys could also ask questions. I mean, I know I talk a lot, but you guys just cut me off anytime you want.
You're asking great questions, though.
They're so good. They're so good. Gene, I know you're also a horse player. Unfortunately, the contribution you made to our group ticket was for naught. That ticket died early. How are you betting any of the remaining races? You with us?
In the Derby, in the Derby, I like attachment rate as underneath, and probably going to play some exactas with him. Talked to Dale Romans earlier this morning, and he said that he's run his best races after the wire. So hopefully he'll be able to do that with an extra eighth of a mile, an extra furlong. Honor AP, I've liked from the beginning. I love his breeding. I love the fact that he's going to love the extra distance. The fact that Smith stayed on him. I'll be messing around with an exacta with Tiz with that. I mean, you got to play Tiz. I mean, he's above and beyond. I've picked him all the way, from the start through the Holy Bull all the way on. He's been my number one in the NTRA pool since January, and you can't jump off him now when it's most important. But you got to find ways to use him with. And if he does something with a 50-1, all the best, right?
From your mouth to God's ears. Let it be attachment rate. All right, Gene, I know you got work to do, and we're at post time here for the Derby City Distaff, so we'll let you get back to it. Thank you for checking in with us, and good luck the rest of the way.
All right, guys. Thanks for having me. See ya.
All right, take it
I need somebody to do a race call for me. I have no way to watch this race. I have nothing here.
Well, we've got Bree on now. Bree Mott from Stableville. Maybe she could do the race call for us. What do you think?
What's up, guys? Can you hear me?
We got you. Yep.
How's your day going?
Going awesome. What about yours? Although we got knocked out, so that part sucks. But
I know our group ticket obviously, took the dirt early on, but that's okay. I did a pick 4, which I singled obviously the first race, and that flunked, but I got the try and the super, so that made it a little bit better.
There you go.
Nice. Yeah, but super exciting day.
So where are you watching from right now? Looks like you got a nice big monitor behind you.
Yeah, so I'm gonna do this once the race goes off. But the other view on the other side would have been my kitchen, and I actually have 4 people hanging out with me right now because we like to do dollar bets as well as our own gambling on the side. So we all pick a horse, throw $1 in the pot, and then the winner gets the dollars, and we're just having drinks together. So we're all hanging out at home and having a good time.
Nice.
All right.
Go ahead.
Quickly, Dan. Just we talked about Serengeti Empress and the chance that we could get a bounce here. We also have talked about Serengeti Empress being the lone speed. I think she's so majestic. I mean, not going to pass a horse, so you're just going to have to go if you're Bejarano up front. So is that going to compromise Serengeti Empress at all, potentially? Does anybody think that? I'm the
I
only
thought
one?
so.
Okay.
I thought so.
Yeah, go ahead, Alice. Yeah, I think
just-
she's the only conceivable one who could go with.
And now
Serengeti.
she's on the rail, so she has a bigger advantage. There's less horses for Serengeti Empress to have to clear, but she doesn't have the rail like the last time.
Yeah, Mike stole most of my thunder. He mentioned pretty much all the same points I was gonna mention on Bell's the One, who I'm in deep here. So if Bell's the One does well, we're doing okay. If Bell's the One does not do well, I've got a big bottle of Woodford that we're gonna start pouring into here. And it's 111 degrees today in Arizona, so I have some stones, so nobody judge me on that if that happens.
Wow.
There's no judgment here. None.
Now I'm a huge Bellafina
Nobody
fan.
likes
I've always
Cece?
have been ever since watching.
Nobody likes Cece? Is that right?
No. So Cece had a killer workout report. I think it was Gary Young's workout report, and gave her an A-. And so I've got her on one of my tickets.
Yeah, that's the way I went. I was going to go Mia Mischief or Cece over Serengeti Empress, whoever gave me the best odds. Once Mia Mischief was out, I'm like, well, I guess I'm taking Cece. And I don't like the number that I'm getting, but I like her in this race. That's the way I'm going.
Well, they're a quarter mile into the race now. Serengeti Empress is loose on the lead with Bellafina.
How ahead are you? Miner's going in the gate right now,
Miner's
Dan.
still loading. Dan,
All
don't say anything.
Man,
breaks.
quiet. Like Miner loading up right now.
Breaks
I might even have to start running out of the room to go watch races.
Dan has so many connections. He gets races before they happen.
I'm actually at Churchill right now. It doesn't look like it, but I'm actually,
Dan, who should I bet on?
do you want me to tell you what's happening or not? I can just not say anything.
Cece's rallying into second. The half was 43.77. Bellafina's thrown in the towel. Serengeti's got a length and a half. Cece's coming.
How about Bell's the One rolling?
Little move from Bell's the One. Big move from Bell's the One coming now.
Come on, get by with this one.
Bell's the One looks like she might get up.
Get by.
And she got up.
No.
Get by. Get by.
Sorry,
No.
Ren, but nice.
I'm
I
happy
don't know.
for
I
Dan.
don't know. I don't know that she got by. Bell's the One didn't definitely get by.
I think
They just left the shoot for me, so I'm gonna get a good.
I tell you what, that's a close photo.
Serengeti got the best at Bob. Serengeti might have won that.
Anybody wants to watch the replay? It's right there. There's no running on my screen.
I'm really good at Bob, but I don't know if I'm gonna be able to make it out on this one. Let me see.
It's also a terrible angle for a Bob.
It is a bad angle.
That is a bad angle.
Derek Moses are moving at opposite points. I think Bell's the One got it by a nose. But we shall see.
I hope Bell's the One got it. I don't know
I'm
if she
gonna
did.
go
I think Serengeti got it. I honestly think Serengeti got the best of that.
Who said that they loaded on Bell's the One? Is it JD or Bram?
Yeah, it's me, and the race is still going on my feed. So,
well, you tell us who you think won.
Okay.
Hey guys, what happened in the Iroquois? They're loading up for me right now.
Guys, welcome in NBC LX host Tabitha Lipkin. Tabitha, what's up? Happy Derby.
Happy Derby. I was hoping I was the only one with the fascinator.
Love it. Well, I'm actually wearing the tiara for my wedding.
I love it.
Oh God, they're showing Serengeti Empress.
Yeah, I think Serengeti got the bob.
I think Serengeti got the bob on my first
Oh
view.
God, Tabitha, we're just sweating out a race here. Yeah, Serengeti's got it. They haven't posted it yet, but I'm pretty sure she's got it. And look, I'd like to take a look at the head-on because it looked like Bell's the One was by and then somehow stopped, unless she just hung.
That's crazy. There's such good racing today, though. I mean, that's a perfect example of it.
Let's see. So just as a heads up for everybody.
Bell's the One.
Whoa!
What?
Bell's the One.
Oh!
JD!
We went from a disappointment whiskey to a celebration whiskey in like 10 seconds.
All right, I'm happy for the both of you. I am, but at the same time, I'm sad.
I mean, Serengeti's look. She ran a massive race. I mean, like she certainly didn't run the race I thought she was going to run. I mean, going that fast.
Well, what did they say? They said 9 out of the 10 last races favorites have not won, right? So now this would be 10 out of the 11. That's not.
Oh no! Oh gosh!
So just to do a little brief reset here, in about 25 minutes, we're going to have Ari and Lauren Lyondike from The Bachelor on with us. We're going to be asking them some questions. We're going to be asking some racing questions, some Bachelor questions. I promised Matt that we wouldn't subject him to the Bachelor questions.
It was more that I wouldn't have anything to add. I would be dead weight.
But also, JD and Ellis, since we're going to be kind of moving things, sort of rapid fire here in a few minutes, I wanted to get both of your take, just quick take on the Derby before we moved on to the next segment. So go, Ellis, you start first. We haven't heard too much from you.
Well, really, we did the webinar, you and me and Christina, and nothing's really changed. I think that just trying to turn 3 to 5 into 5 to 2, and I am going to reluctantly use the obvious second and third choices, but I really am playing. My main ticket is going to be Tiz the Law to win on exactas and trifectas, and using Money Moves, New York Traffic, and Sol Volante in second. And then I'm going to spread, not everybody, but about 9 horses in third. And I did point out yesterday, after Diamond Oops won the turf sprint, that he worked on the same day as Sol Volante on the grass.
You stole a point I was going to bring up, but yes. We just think alike. Yes.
Sol Volante worked 5 and 57 and 4, and I think Diamond Oops worked 4 and 46 and change. I don't know if they worked in company, but that turf work at Palm Meadows seems to have really done the trick, and I'm not expecting Sol Volante to win, but if he gets second during Tiz the Law, I will be really, really happy. So that's my play, 17 over the 7, 12, 15 over a bunch in the try, and just trying to say I hit it. That's not going to make money. Just want to say I hit it. That's all I want.
Right on. Good enough. JD?
Well, I'm fancy, Dan. I went BYOG here. I brought my own graphics.
Did you? What are you about to? Oh, snap!
Okay,
Wow.
so what we have here is we have 4 supers, and they're basically the same thing. We inverse the first 2 positions, and then we inverse the last 2 positions. I love Sol Volante here. I think best closer. So I have Sol Volante singled in 3rd and 4th on these tickets, and then we're going with the likely scenarios. I've been on New York Traffic since the beginning, so we've got some New York Traffic love there. But 15, 16, 17 are the keys in those first 2 spots, and then I don't care who gets 3rd or 4th as long as Sol Volante's in there.
Where are your graphics at, people? What are you drinking, Tabitha? That looks like some makers.
I just wanted to be ready.
I can make graphics with my fingers. Let's see, 5, 10, 15.
And all you didn't think winning impression was going to win. I will be celebrating my $20 bet.
There you go.
Well, I'm real happy with what Gigi said, because that makes me better. I'm gonna tweak up my tickets some more.
Nikki, how about you? We haven't asked you about the Derby yet. Give us a Derby play.
Well, I like Tiz the Law, and I was going to use Money Moves and New York Traffic. I don't like Tiz the Law. Like I said before, I think I'd rather find someone that's lightly raced. So Money Moves is definitely that kind of outlier that's there. So definitely that one in New York Traffic, and those are my top 3.
Well, we did ask you, but it's good to hear it again.
Yeah, I mean, I had it yesterday. So I had that, and I was like, okay, Derby today is fine. As long as I had the Oaks, I was happy.
All right.
Dan, tell everybody your conspiracy theory of what New York Traffic is going to do to Tiz the Law when they break out of the gate. Tell them your conspiracy theory.
I mean, I could see the hate I was getting when I was talking about Serengeti Empress bouncing. I'm not even going to dare talk about my popular conspiracy.
I want to hear
Ellis,
this.
JD, and Nikki, before we let you go, tell people where they can find you. Ellis, kick it off.
All right.
Or Nikki, go.
Fine. Well, everybody finds me at UberCapper. I tweet all my blogs, various blogs, and the videos I do with you. We're doing one in a couple of weeks. I'm looking forward to that. It's Woodbine and Equibase.com and America's Best Racing.
Awesome.
Awesome.
All right, I'll take it. So at Horse Tickets on Twitter, Champagne and JD on YouTube. Check it out. We've had a lot of good guests, and we're continuing to roll and try to bring a little more production and long-form discussion into horse racing. So, strap in. Our Derby show was an hour and 6 minutes and featured, I think, 25 different people, but we've got everybody through quick. We had one big guest, and it worked well. So myself and Andrew Champagne on that. Thanks as always, Dan.
Tell her hi.
I will. I'll text him right now, Ren.
Do it. He's my
All right,
buddy.
Nikki.
And I'm on Twitter at Nikki23Sam.
All right. Thank you three for being on. Sorry it's a little crazy. I know we didn't get everybody in equally. Appreciate you bearing with us.
Can we check JD for a next year? Can you look at Jim? Can we see?
Wait, what?
Can we check JD for next year? A next year.
What?
I said, did we check you for a neck beard?
Yeah, I can't hear Ren at all. I don't know what she's saying.
If only we knew.
All right, we're moving on to the next bit here.
Okay.
Thank you all. Appreciate you.
Thanks, everyone.
Be well, guys.
I just think I haven't even had a drink yet. It's coming though.
Who's doing the feedback? That's what I want to know. Who's the feedback?
We are getting some
Not me,
feedback.
because I have nothing.
It's got to be Bree or Tabitha.
I think it's me. I do.
You're forgiven though.
How can I avoid that? How can I help you? Because I do these Zooms sometimes and it has feedback. What can I do?
Well, now it sounds good, right?
Maybe not.
Sort of.
Maybe.
Maybe a little bit.
Hey, for the proper degenerates out there, the Woodward is loading into the gate at Saratoga right now.
That's right. I'll give you.
Can you bet the race? No, you can't bet this race.
I don't. I mean, honestly,
You can bet any race, Dan.
it's not an interesting betting race. It's more a matter of
any race.
It's more a matter of is Tacitus actually this good?
Oh, I hate that horse. That horse. I've lost so much money on that horse. Oh, no,
Well, look,
no.
he ran really well in his last start, and if he can
Good for
sort
him.
of solidify, Bram with the, if he can just sort of solidify that, he becomes interesting in a couple months' time at Keeneland. That's all.
Listen, Dan, you're going to see this race 15 minutes ahead of me. Don't tell me what happened because I don't even want to know. All right, I don't even want to know.
So they're loading up for the last race after the Woodward. No, actually, I think I'm just kidding. They're not loading up for the last race. Yeah. Let's see.
I'm so confused right now.
Yeah, we're losing the plot entirely. Bree, tell us about Stable Duel. That's one of the reasons I want you to come on. I know I played it a little bit. Tell people about Stable Duel.
Sure. So Stable Duel is just a new game. We pretty much launched like July 4th weekend. And it's similar to you're picking your own team of horses. So if today we were playing at Churchill, and unfortunately we don't have Churchill. So Churchill Downs, if you're listening, get your shit together. Oh, I don't know if we're on this. So anyways, if you were playing the Derby Day today, you would select 10 horses on the card within like a given bankroll. And the horses' values are based on their morning line odds. And then those 10 horses are within your one entry. So $5, $25. And you pretty much have a whole day of entertainment for playing other players. And each horse is given points for their finishing positions. And you can get negative points. So if your horses finish like poorly, you could get negative 10 points. And it's just a really fun way. Like, for instance, if we were all doing this right now, playing Stable Duel, we could be talking crap the entire time about like who has who in the next race, like what happened in the last one, because you're actually playing against one another rather than playing against just the tote in general. So it's super fun.
Yeah, I've had fun playing it just because it's one of those things where I'm really good at picking horses who finish third and fourth. And you could do that on Stable Duel and like still be in the game. And then you hit a winner or two and you're like, oh, look at this. I cashed. So.
Yeah, and we kind of say it's like the pick six without having that feeling of having the rug like swept out from under you. Like if you single the first leg, if that horse gets second or third, you're still live in our game per se. So it's not like the ups and downs of a pick six and the devastation. It's kind of like, okay, like I flunked that race, but I still have 8 races to go to the ability to get me to win. And we pay more places in consideration with other contests. So we pay like usually like the 20% or 25% of the players. So like even if you're the 25th placing in the contest, you could still make your entry back. So it's kind of like you can continue to keep rolling the money and keep playing, and then one time you're going to win that $1,000 pool, you know?
Yeah, I've had a lot of fun with it. And you can just basically just go on your phone right now and just download it.
Yep. So we got more contests tomorrow. We actually have a charity competition tomorrow, raising money for aftercare. Money goes to the Thoroughbred Aftercare Alliance, which I know is a big thing for ABR, and also the RRP, which they canceled their big show. So we're splitting the proceeds to each one of those, and yeah, just raising money for off the track thoroughbreds.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool. Bree, unless you desperately want to be on for the Bachelor interview, we can let you get back to your party and your friends.
I actually wish that I did desperately want to get on. I just don't watch it, but I wish I was one because everybody just loves it so much. But yeah, I don't know. So are you still attached to Attachment Rate? I need to know where you still are falling on that horse.
I am. I've gone all week with Attachment Rate. Look, Tiz the Law is probably going to win the race. Just from if you wanted to kind of get a little more creative in your handicapping, Honor AP makes sense. But unless something drastic happens in terms of a bad trip, which again I'm not going to get into my Paco theory just yet. I think Tiz the Law wins, but I'm going to use Attachment Rate. Attachment Rate's my value play. I think there's no question Attachment Rate hits the board. I'll just throw that out there.
Oh wow!
Dan has given his rose to Attachment Rate. Will Attachment Rate pick him? Find out later on this live stream.
I love it. Awesome. Well, thanks for having me. Good luck today, you guys.
Thanks, Bree.
Be well.
Good seeing you.
Bye, Bree.
All right, we've got a. By the way, we haven't even spoken to Tabitha yet. We're gonna get more with Tabitha in a moment. You have fans on the stream too. They're loving
How
it.
can I see them?
They're right in the comments. They love your fascinator.
I love. I private chat. Oh, comments.
They love the
guys.
Bourbon. There you go. But I do want to bring in a special guest and a very good friend, Justin Nicholson.
How we doing?
Good.
The question is, how are you doing right now?
Fatherhood.
There's some nerves here and there, but that happens when you're running for $1 million in 15 minutes.
Ren said, "How's fatherhood?" Fatherhood?
Yeah.
You got a horse running in the Turf Classic.
Yeah.
He's
like, I'm not worried about that right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
I got the other 23 hours and 45 minutes of the day for that. So
No, I'm just wondering if he's got his special AJ suited onesie on to
he does.
represent.
We have that. Yep, we have one of those around.
So Justin Nicholson, for those who don't know, we worked together on EquestriaCon, the horse racing convention. Ren was obviously very involved with that too. And so in addition to launching conventions, for a long time, Justin has owned horses and bred horses. And he has a horse in the Turf Classic, the 5-horse Don't Blame Rocket, currently at 19-1. Julian Leperoux riding. Norm Cassie is the trainer. So we haven't even talked about this race at all in terms of setting it up from a pace perspective and everything else. How do you see this race unfolding? How do you hope it unfolds?
Look, I think the 1, 9, and 10 are all speed, which, I was happy for Spectacular Gem to stick around, or at least I think I was, because that hopefully means there's some real pressure on Factor This, who we hooked up with a few times at the fairgrounds. We beat him one time when he was pushed, and when he wasn't pushed, he beat us twice. So I know what that race looks like. Some Like It Hot Brown has speed. So if those three go, look, if I could draw it up, we're sitting, 4th or 5th behind a 3-headed, speed duel, and we get the first jump on everybody coming from behind. We've had a little less speed lately. I don't know if it's just he had some time off for just over the winter of the spring. So he came back a little less sharp, but equally he still finishes like he's supposed to. And if he can be a little closer early, I think he's already shown early in the year that he belongs with these kinds of horses.
Right on.
Ren, you have any questions?
It's really exciting just to have a horse in this type of race, period. But it sounds like, see, the thing about Justin that's so great is not only is he a horse owner, not only, like you said before, taking the initiative to put together a convention to unite all different aspects of the industry together under one roof, but he's also a very, very savvy horse player too. So I'm guessing, do you bet this race yourself, or is it just, because I never bet a race when I have a horse in it that I own.
Oh, he bets this race.
Oh yeah, he does.
It's funny you said it, because I think I texted Dan earlier that if that photo in the last race goes the other way, I still have a live pick 5 going that my horse isn't on. So I was singled to Sacred Life here on a pick 5, and I would have had like 5 deep in the Derby for a very.
I'm sorry, I have Sacred Life single too.
I would say that's where. But look, you know why I played him? Because we own a horse called Hawkish who ran second at Monmouth last out, and I think our horse ran the best race of his life. He's already a Grade 2 winner. I think Sacred Life made a very good horse look a little less good. So if he gets his setup and if he runs big, you know, I'm still kind of betting with the knowledge of what I think we had. And Hawkish actually runs this week at Kentucky Downs for $300,000 too. So
how's he doing? How's he doing?
He's doing great. He's in the best form of his life. He just ran the best, certainly the best Sheets figure he's run in his career. I mean, I have no idea how he'll handle going up, down, and side to side at Kentucky Downs, but you never know till they run.
Obviously, you've been through this race, I'm sure, with a fine-tooth comb because just by virtue of having another horse in it. What did you make? Matt, my husband, Matt's best bet of the day is Digital Age. And yeah, I know. So what did you make of that horse? Because I'm trying to, I didn't really get into it with what he was saying. He just thinks the horse is sitting on a big race, I guess. But then the other question I had for you is with some, like at Hot Brown, you raise horses, you see horses. I was talking to Matt Bernier before this race, or before we got on here rather, about the fact that this horse, he looks so big. It almost looks to me like, this is legitimate turn of form here where he's gotten really good at throwing down triple-digit buyers because he's had time as being a son of Big Brown to really mature into his frame. What do you make of that horse, and what do you make of what Matt is saying with Digital Age?
So I think the race that Some Like It Hot Brown's coming out of up at Saratoga, I couldn't make heads or tails of that race because it felt like the form in that race kind of flipped upside down. You had a couple prices winning. I think it was Chad's horse got stuck and never got to run. It was just a hard race for me to I don't trust entirely what came out of there just because I don't know yet. If they come back and kind of make the form look good, I'll believe it. But I just can't tell. Digital Age, he's got a progressive look to him. So if he does run that next step forward, he obviously has a good chance here. I thought Sacred Life was the most progressive looking of his horses because he already ran the big races and he's coming off, as I understand it, he had some kind of surgery. He came back off several months. He runs plenty good enough race first off the bench. And if he does step forward, he's the best horse here. If he doesn't step forward, which is possible, second off a layoff, I was told it was some kind of surgery. I don't know what it is. But if it fixed him in some way, then he's only going to get better. So he's getting bet, obviously, like people think he's the real deal. So, and as I said, look, I had him at least on one ticket singled without us. So
that race, I mean, just going back to the Pegasus World Invitational, that was like a really crazy stacked race. You had Zulu Alpha in there, Magic Wand, Instilled Regard, Arklow, Sailor's Joy, Henley's Joy. And Mo Forza was in there, and Without Parole and Next Shares. It was such a good race. And then, like you said, he comes back, he puts in that performance there at Monmouth Park in the first start of the year, or not first start of the year, but first start since that race back in January. So, yeah, I mean, he looks tough, but of course, I'm going to be rooting for you.
Well, look, at 20-1, you have an added incentive. But
exactly.
No, look, we think we had excuses in the races. The 2 races he's run since the spring. He did bleed the first race back, and we think we have it kind of under control. And this last race, I mean, even the chart had him listed as in the 10 path, and that's probably about right. He was way wide, and got beat a couple lengths for everything. And look, he like I said, he beat Factor this in a race where the pace actually collapsed. If he gets on an uncontested lead, I don't think anybody's beating him, but I think there's speed there, and I'm hoping we're sitting right behind.
Justin, will you hang with us for the race? Are you good with watching with us, or do you want to get back and watch? It's up to you.
I have a feeling I might not have spousal permission for that one. I think I'm joining the family for the race.
All right. I guess.
Curse here if you want. I mean, we're okay with it. Cool.
Right. In that case, before we let you go, give us a Derby bet, not just a pick, but give us a Derby bet.
Yeah, look, I think one is, I mean, even like Ellis was saying, is to play Tis the Law over like 3 or 4, deep closures like Solo Volante. I thought Enforceable has a little look to him. Max Player obviously is an underneath type, and maybe with the barn change that helps. I'm not looking at a mild upset. I'm looking at either Tis the Law wins or something comes out of the clouds and the whole thing falls apart.
Right.
So that's I had the pick 5 that I had going if I were still alive by the nose I lost. It was Sacred Life into 5 horses in the Derby, and they were all the deep closers and 'Tis the Law basically. So we'll see how it goes, but I think the best horse will win, and I think it's 'Tis the Law, but we'll see what happens.
All right, thanks, Justin. We're praying for you. Let's go. Don't blame Rocket. Let's do it.
Good luck out there.
Appreciate it.
All right, again.
I would love to see him swinging up that.
Sean, welcome to the stream. How you doing, Sean?
Doing fantastic. How's everybody doing other than the utter disappointment in that first race?
Well, I could see Bram smiling. I know Bram wants to talk to you about it, but before that, we've had Tabitha front and center here for the first 10 minutes. Tabitha,
hey, friends.
Tell us, first of all, welcome again. Tell us about NBC LX. I know you've been there for a little while now. Tell us what's going on there. And
Guys, thanks for having me. So I joined NBC LX in May, and I helped them launch this brand new network through NBC, which is appealing basically to millennials and Gen Z. So I'm one of their morning hosts, and we went live on June 1st. You can watch us pretty much anywhere. We're in the top 50 markets, as well as we're on YouTube TV, Apple TV. We're coming on Hulu and Peacock this month as well, and into the fall. So we'll be in 50 million households. So it's been a real whirlwind, especially in the pandemic, changing jobs and moving to Dallas. But it's awesome.
Oh my gosh, so that's so wonderful. I mean, you really are really getting in there and bringing something that is, in terms of the market, going to be very exciting.
Yeah, it's really trying to change the way that we view news, because I know that our generations, we don't watch as much local or cable news, probably because we don't like the way that it talks at us. So we do really cool documentary style storytelling and long form journalism, and it's really, really interesting. And so it took a lot to get me away from San Diego, and this was well worth it.
Wow. Look at me! I'm trying to act like I'm part of the demographic. I'm just old, but
stop it!
Why are you part of the demographic?
You're definitely part of the demographic.
Yeah.
So is Bram.
She's like, "What is this? Is that an Insta Snap? What is that on there?"
These young folks nowadays.
No.
So we have a lot of comments here from people who are excited and ready for Lauren and Ari to join us. They're only a few minutes away, so hang tight. We've got 4 minutes until the Turf Classic. If everything works out perfectly, the Turf Classic will go off. We'll react to it. Then we'll bring in Ari and Lauren Leindijk from The Bachelor. So hang tight. We see a lot. We see you in the room. We see the comments. We know everyone's excited. We're excited too. So hang tight with us.
Can we also just comment on whoever's name is butt referee commenting? Horses. All right, butt referee, relax. We got horses coming.
Oh, that's actually Ellis Starr. He was mad that you took him off the live stream.
Gonna throw a flag down on that play, but
right. Wait, Ren, real quick, I just want to say Lauren and Ari are now in the green room. We're gonna just give it a couple of minutes. Lauren and Ari, if you could hear us, give us the thumbs up. All right, they've got us. You can hang tight for a few minutes. All right, they're giving us the thumbs up. All right, so they're gonna hang tight for a few minutes. We're gonna try to squeeze this race in, this pre-Derby race in. And then we'll bring in Lauren and Ari. Look at this.
Who you got here, Dan? Who you got here? Who do you got here?
My heart is with Don't Blame Rocket. I've got to be on Don't Blame Rocket.
Yeah.
But logically, I think Sacred Life makes a lot of sense. I also like Rock Emperor a lot. Rock Emperor would be a pick. Sean, what do you say?
I thought the 2 Bowie's Hero was going to put forth a big effort. I agree with Mike Summich that you had on earlier. I also thought the 4 Digital Age was going to run big as well. To wrap it up real quick, on 2, 4, 5, and 8, the sentimental pick made it on my pick 3 to stay alive. So I'm with you and hoping that we can get this 5 home. Don't Blame Rocket at 21-1 now.
Absolutely. Matt?
I mean, I had picked Sacred Life. I think this is a terrible price on him, regardless of the fact that I think he's arguably the most likely winner. He shouldn't be this short against this field. He's never proven himself against this caliber of runner, despite the fact that visually he looked great in the Ocean Port. If I'm just playing the tote board, I think Mr. Dumas or Dumas, however we want to pronounce that, is the most appealing of the prices simply because he was pace compromised in that run in the Baruch most recently. When conversely, his uncoupled stablemate, some like it Hot Brown, he was the one that had it all his own way that day. So if I had to make a play simply on the numbers, which is what we should be doing, it's the number 6. But my pick, air quotes, was the 8 in here, Sacred Life.
All right.
Same. But I'm still rooting for Justin, though. I want an upset because I'm out anyway.
So I'm alive to all sorts of pick threes. If Don't Blame Rocket wins to the Derby from yesterday, from She Dares the Devil, that the Woodford pick 3, the Woodford, the turf, the one with the turf sandwich. It's hard not to say the Woodford, right?
Yeah.
All right. So there's
Same parent company, I believe.
That's
I could be wrong, but I believe that the holding company is still. I think they're one and the same, but neither here nor there.
So they're headed to the gate. This is hopefully we're close to going off with this race, and as I said momentarily, right after that we'll be bringing in Lauren and Ari Leyendijk from The Bachelor. So hang tight if you're in the room. Stay with us. We're just a couple of moments away from that. Tabitha, you've done your fair share of. You've done hard news reporting. You've done some lifestyle reporting. You've done some entertainment. What's your favorite?
Sports reporter.
You're a sports
Back
reporter. That too. What's your bread and butter? I mean, if you could call your shot, so what kind of thing would it be?
Here's the issue, and I think this is the issue all of my employers have found when hiring me, is I really love to do everything. They're like, oh, they can't put me in one corner or the other. So I have learned during the pandemic, I've gotten to do a lot more entertainment interviews and like celebrity interviews, which is a new thing for me. And I kind of love it because if you can get like a real celebrity to open up to you, it's nice. It's like, oh, like we're just having this fun, cool conversation. So for instance, I interviewed Ewan McGregor like 2 days ago, and he has a new show out, and we were talking about how he and his best friend, it's on Apple TV, they basically took these electric motorbikes from the tip of Argentina to Los Angeles, and they like made a documentary about it, like a TV series documentary. And so talking to him about like that adventure and journey and like, all the different things that inspired it and his career, and really just kind of having a cool conversation is like refreshing versus being, the standard, like, what was it like to be a part of Star Wars and Moulin Rouge? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, you're going to get another opportunity in a moment to speak with Lauren and Ari, and that's good. Now you've thrown your hat into the mix. You're gonna be the one who leads the interview. So
excellent.
All right.
You don't want my questions. Trust me. I got plenty of them, though. Yeah, I got plenty.
All right. They are off now in the Turf Classic. So they are off. Yeah.
Okay, give me the race call, Dan.
Factor
Dan,
this
what's
on the
happening?
Well, factor this is
Dan.
Factor this is actually pretty loose on the lead. The quarter was in 23-1, so he went pretty fast. To his outside, True Valor, actually. So Some Like It Hot Brown is not there. Thought he might be pressing. And then Spectacular Gem on the outside is trying to stay close, but is about, a length or two off, 3 wide. And they just did the half in 47-1. So that second quarter there was a little slower. Factor this, if he's on his game, is in really good position to win this race. Spectacular Gem is tracking, making a move now 3 wide, being asked. And Some Like It Hot Brown is moving pretty nicely, actually.
Mike Maker said he did not need the lead.
All right, here they come. They're just coming off the turn. Sacred Life is making a big move on the outside. It looks like Factor this is still going. He's still got plenty. Rolling down the center, Digital Age, Mike Samich, potentially with the call here. I think he said he liked Digital Age.
Yep.
Digital Age is going to get up just in time.
Oh my God. Matt Carothers' best bet of the day tweeted out earlier today. I'm just telling you too.
There you go.
Not taking any thunder away from Mr. Samich.
At a decent price, 8-1 too. You have that, right? All right, good. Pop's just informed me he's still got the pick 3 going.
Matt is there.
But he's in. All right, Sean, I know we haven't chatted with you yet, but hang tight. We're going to put you back in the green room for a minute.
Sounds
Matt,
good.
We're gonna put you back in the green room.
You got it.
And with that, we are excited to welcome in Lauren and Ari Lyondike. Hello.
Hi, guys.
What's up,
guys?
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having us.
All right, I'm going to move your video up here. Let's see. We're going to try to do some fancy stuff.
Ooh.
Boom.
You're dressed up. Like, what's your derby like?
Very dapper.
Thank you. Thank you. Dressing for the occasion.
Lauren, I know you have a clothing line called Shades of Rose. Is this part of it?
It is actually.
It's gorgeous.
This is one of my dresses.
It's gorgeous. Oh my
Thank
goodness.
you. Yeah. It's exciting.
Dan, what's your clothing line that you're wearing today?
I am wearing brackish. It's like one of those feather bow ties. Ari, you got one of these?
I do actually. Yeah, brackish. Same one.
There you go.
Look.
Phenomenal.
We're right here. We're right here. So the clothing is one thing. The derby parties. You had a horse come to your house today. Is that right?
Yeah, we're a little extra.
Yeah, we go big when we have events. We only have a friend of ours over down in Bella, so we only have another couple with us watching today. But Lauren is like the best planner. She goes over it above every single time. So
I have a little help, but we wanted to surprise Alessi with a horse for her first derby experience, so we had one brought to our backyard.
Wait, so what was her reaction?
Oh, she loved it.
She loved it.
We thought
you're in trouble.
Terrified. I know. She wrote it. She was so happy.
guys, we bought horse property a couple months ago, and we wanted to turn it into like a big garage, and like I had all these like aspirations and dreams. But like the more we're living here, the more this whole horse, the love for horses is setting in, and I don't know, we might have a horse soon. Who knows?
Let it happen. Embrace it. Embrace it. Horses teach you to be humble, good responsibility. You know, getting the chores done. Do it.
Well, we saw that you posted on Instagram a couple of weeks ago, a little while ago, when you were just kind of like walking around. You sort of stumbled upon. It looked like some sort of like it looked like you stumbled upon the horse farm. Is that what happened? And that was the first time Alessi saw a horse.
Yeah.
So things have sort of kind of really rapidly escalated here from that.
Yeah, I mean, so our backyard, there's actually a barn and a corral and all of the things you would need to have a horse, or 6. And in our neighborhood, there's a lot of people who have horse properties as well. So there's horses. When we go on our walks all the time, we're going to feed the baby horses, and there's a training facility across the street. So she's had a lot of fun being in that environment.
Yeah, for sure. It's been cool. And then this morning, actually, the horse that came is the great grandson of Secretariat, which is kind of a wild story. Yeah, so we didn't even know that.
We found out when they were here.
Yeah, so she was like, "Oh, this used to be a racehorse, but he only did 3 or 4 races," and we found out quickly that he didn't have the chops.
Yeah, he wasn't cut out for it.
But yeah, he has a good bloodline. It was kind of cool to be a part of that, so it was cool.
Yeah, he was beautiful.
That's awesome. Like a Shetland pony. I didn't get to see the video. You had a thoroughbred. Is he still there?
No. It's so hot here, guys. It's like 110. So, horses get to play in the morning and at dusk, but in the middle of the day like this, they're all inside and cooling off.
Well, how are you staying cool? How are you celebrating? Got any mint juleps?
Yeah, we actually made some mint juleps this morning. But yeah,
very
just
refreshing,
hanging out
by the way.
inside, watching it on the TV.
Yeah, we placed our bets. I was looking yesterday. We placed them this morning. The odds just keep changing, though. I felt like we were pretty good, and now I'm like, dang it! I'm like, everyone else is betting on our
lives. Okay, the tote board is a giant disappointment to us on a daily basis.
You're like 40-1. Let's go, and then it's like.
Well, what is it like?
Well, we have to ask you.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, no, you go ahead, Tabitha.
I am just curious, like, what are you looking forward to most in this race? And of course, who do you got?
Well, for me, I picked Money Moves just because I really liked the name.
She's a big Nicki Minaj fan.
Actually, it's
I like that. The Money Moves.
Come on, Ari. Come on.
Don't get them mixed up. That is something you cannot do.
Yeah, so I'm on Money Moves, so I'm just crossing my fingers that one pulls through.
Yep, I got New York Traffic just because I like the odds yesterday. And now I just did a little reading up on it, but I don't know. I never really want to bet for the odds-on favorite, so I wanted to go, not middle of the road, but towards the front. So hopefully he pulled it out.
And how often do you guys bet now? Do you like to do sports betting? Is it kind of horse specific?
No, first time.
Yeah, I wouldn't say we're big gamblers. Like when we go to Vegas, I love doing craps just for fun, but Ari always loses his money.
No, I did not. No, I always win the money,
out.
and then I come home with the chips, and she thinks the chips are just like tokens of fun, and then they disappear.
They are fun.
It is, yeah, until they're gone.
Well,
What do you make of this year with no fans at all these major sporting events? You have this deep background in auto racing. Like, what do you make of what's happened this year?
I mean, everyone's just adjusting, right? So we kind of are dealing with the same thing in IndyCar. I drove IndyCar, and my dad is still heavily involved in IndyCar racing as an official. So, the calendar keeps changing. There's no fans. Obviously, it changes the whole atmosphere of the event. I would say that as a race car driver, it's interesting with no fans because fans really like pump you up. They get you focused and ready for the race. And I got to imagine for the horses too, it's got to feel a lot different than, a regular race because there's no cheering going on. So it's just, I don't know. I'm kind of interested to see if the horses, react the same way, or if it'll feel more like a practice run for the horses. I don't know.
Well, with your background in IndyCar racing, have you seen any similarities in sort of the strategy that's employed by the jockeys?
Yeah, I mean, I think that, taking another driver's line away, or if you get a good start, how the strategy changes from if you leave the gate and you're already on the back foot. Watching the jockeys is my favorite part because how they position themselves is so important. And, a lot of it is, it lies on the jockey. So there's a ton of similarities between auto racing and horse racing. And I think that there's so much strategy involved. And that's kind of the part that I like the most is kind of dissecting that.
Can you actually go back and handicap the races that you enter to get an idea of what your other drivers are going to be doing and basically try to map out what you may do based upon that?
Oh, 100%. So in racing, we know our competitors so well, and there's some drivers that, will drive into the corner really deep, and that, so you kind of set back and try to get them on the exit. And I got a feel for the jockeys too, if they ride together against each other quite a bit. I'm sure that there's different styles, and that's something that we as race car drivers study, and I'm sure the jockeys do that as well.
Can I ask a Bachelor question? I'm curious. How do you guys handle a socially distant, mask-wearing Bachelor? How do you do that?
Honestly, we're as confused as you are. We don't know how that's going to look.
Yeah, we have no clue how the season's going to look. Thankfully, our season, we didn't have that dilemma. We traveled the world. It was a really good experience. But going into this season, I've kind of seen a couple clips, and I feel like everyone's sort of in their little bubble, similar to how the NBA is playing right now.
Yeah,
so
they're all tested before they go on set, and I don't think they're wearing masks because they're all tested and they know that nobody has COVID. So
yeah.
Well, this one is also interesting because the original Bachelorette found love and decided to call off filming, so they had to completely recast. And a guy who lives in my building was cast for the original one and then tested positive for COVID, so they sent him home.
Oh, no.
And he didn't get to be a part of So he was like, it is crazy.
That's crazy. You have more of a scoop than we do.
I can tell you all the deets if you want to know.
This person has a background in horse racing. He used to be one of the hosts on TVG.
Yeah, that's really where he got his start. And he and I grew close over the years of knowing each other, and that's really where his background comes from. So I'm sure he'll be watching along today too.
Yeah, and I gotta say, sorry, go ahead, Tabitha.
No. We do have so many Bachelor and Bachelorette fans who are watching because they've been, trust me, in the comments this whole time, so excited for you guys, and they want to know more about your experience and kind of your favorite memories from being a part of the show.
Oh,
I'll let her take the phone.
I mean, I think it's pretty incredible that we can say that our first date was in Paris, and you know, you have so many opportunities to do things there that you normally wouldn't in the beginning of a relationship.
Yeah.
And we actually tried to go back and recreate our first date for my birthday last year, and it wasn't quite the same with a 1-year-old and people kind of like managing everything for you. We went to the Michelin star restaurant that they set up our date at, and Alessia was screaming the whole time. It was kind of funny just kind of comparing the two. But yeah, that was one of my favorite memories. And obviously we got engaged on the show, so that was really special too. So
yeah. What did you expect the show to be like, and how did it kind of match up to actually being on it?
Oh man! Well, for me as a guy, you're like, oh, this is gonna be amazing, you know?
Yeah, right?
This is gonna be like the time of my life, and then you slowly realize, no, I have to break up with someone pretty much every day, and that's not fun. And then you know, it's just a lot of pressure. But ultimately, through all the drama and everything, it's led us here, and it's like the best thing I could have done to go on that show. And you know, I'm so lucky that Lauren was cast for the show. So we thank the show every day for the life that we lead now. And
yeah.
Tabitha breaks up with people every day, and she enjoys it, actually.
Don't let him know my secrets. It gives me power.
Lauren, you mentioned a little bit about the clothing line at the beginning, but tell us a little bit more. I mean, for those who haven't heard, who haven't seen, if they've been under a rock.
Yeah, I've been talking about it a ton over the last month or so. But it's called Shades of Rose, and it's my new clothing line. It's a lifestyle brand, and I wanted to create pieces for people that they could wear during the time we're in now, where most of us are working from home and not going to events that we normally would. So there's obviously some dressier pieces, but there's also a lot of things that are more casual that you can dress down or up for an occasion. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun. The passion for that actually started when I was in high school, and I designed a swimsuit with a swimwear designer there. And I have just been striving for that ever since. So I'm really excited to finally make it happen.
Well, that's gorgeous. I could see that at the Derby, or I could see it at Royal Ascot.
Oh,
yeah, it's fire.
Yeah,
thank you.
Yeah, you should get in touch with some of us horse racing ladies, because we don't know. I mean, I'm going New Year's today just because today is like I want 2020 to start on a new footing from this day. So I went with the New Year's feeling. But no, this is so beautiful, and this is something that we all strive to create when we go out for big days.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, she's worked so hard on it, guys. Like, she downplays it a lot, but I'm talking up at 5 on the computer designing, to bed at 11, still working on it, and trying to juggle being a mom.
Yeah, it's really hard on Barry too.
No.
Yeah, he has to share time with my clothing line now.
That's true. That is her second baby for sure.
Is there going to be anything for men coming out?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I'm terrible at men's fashion. I don't think so. Maybe Ari should do that.
All right.
That would be cool.
Oh my gosh, and then that would be Lauren and Ari. Just
we know you got to go back to your party. Before we let you go, you kind of give us a little bit of a preview of who you're betting. Hopefully the America's Best Racing, How to Bet the Derby, and the cheat sheet were helpful.
That is literally what I went off of. So Lauren went off of the name solely because she likes the name. But I definitely used all the info on that link, and that helped me place my first bet. And now I'm just crossing my fingers, and I'm sure I'll be betting a lot in the future.
Okay, so remind us, Money Moves, and who are the other ones?
New York Traffic.
All right, Money Moves and New York Traffic.
All right,
Lauren,
before they go, Dan, before they go, just, I know you're embarrassed to ask. Dan sent in a tape to the producers of The Bachelor. He never heard back. So if you guys could just find out something about that, it'd be great.
Okay. Check in on that, please.
I'm still in the outfit I was wearing when I sent it in. So. All right, Lauren.
News to his wife, but I could be wrong.
You guys are so awesome. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for having us.
Good luck. All right, be well.
Thanks.
They were awesome. Oh my God.
Yeah, that was
hey,
so
Ren,
fun.
you're at center stage now. Hey.
No, they're awesome. And my gosh, I'm serious. Like, I need her to style me.
That
Me
was
too.
a lot of fun. That was great.
That dress, I was like, girl, whew,
I
beautiful.
Absolutely. So well composed, just from everything, the fascinator, the dress.
I want to see Bram in the dress too.
In the dress?
Why not?
Yes, Bram, do it.
2020 airport rules.
I'll go with the suit that Ari went with.
Sean
You're the
is
most
back.
casual person.
Yeah. Sean, welcome back in. Penelope, how did you do that?
Do what?
The rose thing.
I bought myself roses like an adult, Dan. What were you doing this morning?
Calling you out.
I love Penelope Miller. I just want everybody to know that.
I love you, Ren. How's everyone's derby going? The show's been looking so good, by the way, guys.
I love Penelope's that whole look there. It's like I feel like it's Colonel Mustard with the wrench in the foyer. I love
it. But I will have you know, true to form, I'm still wearing stretchy pants.
Oh my gosh, I'm still wearing linen pants. I'm wearing pants under this. I am.
Yeah, this is my Kentucky Derby mullet look. Like it's business on top and just straight pajamas on bottom.
I love it. It is what it is this year, right?
It is. It really is. Matt, I don't know. We may have lost Matt. I see. All I see is an empty chair right now.
They go on a bathroom break.
So guys, I want to hear like upsets galore today.
I know. I was so sad about Serengeti because I was throwing so much shade at all of them. I was like, Saren, get me if you can. And then I thought she won, and then she lost. So then I looked like a jerk. And yeah.
Story of my life, I know. But so are you guys like getting off of Tis the Law because like how not chalky it is?
No.
I mean, okay.
I'm telling you. Biggest
Are you?
upset
How about that?
of
Are
the
you?
century.
Oh, I don't want to show my. Who do you like, Penelope?
Okay, so I do have a sneaky thing for Honor AP because everyone knows I was like Honor Code was my baby.
Yeah,
so the baby of my baby. So essentially, he's my grandchild. But yeah, I mean, Tiz is definitely the horse to beat. I just like, I've had like so many favorites have lost today. I think it's time to start hedging bets quite literally.
I know, it's crazy. It doesn't matter if it's been on the main, doesn't matter if it's been on the turf.
Yeah.
It's one of those wacky days. I thought it was gonna be a chalk fest.
Yeah, I did too. And I mean, we can all just like wave goodbye to my pick 5 ticket. That just into the
we were done in the first race.
Oh yeah, totally. And I was like, maybe a consolation ticket. No.
What's it like not being at Churchill Downs? I mean, you're there every year. Penelope Miller, for those of you who do not know, she is in literally the trenches of the track, getting all the shots that you go online to find and drool over because you love these horses, you follow these horses. She's the one that's out there getting this stuff for you, and writing the stories and following up on what these horses are doing. And so for you to not be there, it's strange for me, so I can only imagine what it's like for you.
Yeah, it is a little bit weird. It's bittersweet for sure, but you know, it's been very interesting to watch the broadcast and hear what everyone has to say, see some of the stories. So that's been really fun. But you know, there is nothing like actually sitting on the dirt of the like Churchill Downs racetrack when they play my old Kentucky home in the post parade, and it's just it's magical. So to miss out is, you know, like I said, it's a little bittersweet, but you know, it's the right thing to do this year, and hopefully, you know, we'll be back to take some pictures again next year.
Penelope, what is one of your favorite memories that you'd share with us from being there?
Ooh. There are a lot, but I mean, I think that Justifies Kentucky Derby stands out for me because my big camera lens died in the rain about 5 minutes before the start of the race. And it drowned. If anyone remembers, it was crazy pouring rain that year. So I was there with my wide angle lens about halfway down the stretch and was just like, we're going to make it work. And And I did, and it was fun. But like, part of the Derby experience for me is learning how to be nimble and just going with the flow no matter what happens. And like, it's kind of like the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Just don't panic.
And those cameras aren't cheap, so
Like,
that's
no, that was a very expensive drowning.
oh
I
gosh.
know. And it was only 3 months old.
Are your boots still alive?
Yes, they are. Those boots
Oh my
are amazing.
gosh. She has these boots. They're awesome looking aesthetically, but they're so practical, and I'm just shocked that they're still hanging in there.
Yeah, so if anybody is looking for like a very solid pair of rain boots, and tragically they are paying me nothing for this endorsement, but check out a pair of Dublin boots.
Wow.
Indestructible. I've had them for 6 years. They've taken me around the world and they don't die.
We're pubbing a lot of clothing lines. You could start your own boot line, Penelope, if you want to. I mean, that's what we're doing here.
Okay.
Oh, actually, something that should be pumped up is she just did something huge for charity for the Retired Racehorse Project. Let's talk about that.
Yes, I auctioned my hair color off online to raise money for retired racehorses for the Real Rider Cup. Hello, Jose.
Hello.
And the wonderful people at Little Red Feather Racing bought my hair color for a donation. And so it is navy blue, and you can't really see, but it has orange tips on the bottom. It's
To match your
matching
silk.
colors.
To match.
Come closer. Come closer. I want to see.
It's really kind of hard. Like, the light is bizarre, but I promise the bottom is like dark burnt umber.
I can see the blue though.
Yes.
Tabitha, check this out. How long were you sitting in that chair?
A little over 6 hours.
Because she had to have silver flipped out.
Well, because my hair is almost black naturally. So to get it to navy blue, they had to bleach it white, then layer on the blue, then layer on the orange, then redo it all because it was too light.
I know.
So, yeah. And I'm not good at sitting still. I am a Jack Russell like trapped in a human body.
And having to wear a face mask.
Yeah, but you know, my colorist is amazing, and he was just amused by the whole thing as I'm pulling up pictures of silks a week before, being like, "Can you get these colors?" And he's like, "What? We're in Lower Manhattan. What is going on?"
Like, I guess, sure, let's do
Right?
it.
It's like, okay.
I love
Let's
it.
do it.
So, you know, if anybody
Let's do
on the
Bram's hair.
show, you know, Matt, looking at you, if you want to like, you know, dye your hair some silks colors, just get me on the phone. I got a place.
I mean, we've got a few months until the Breeders' Cup. So, I mean,
What
there's
about the beard? Can you do the beard?
scenario where we make it all purple. I think the higher ups would probably frown upon that, but we would get a kick out of it.
I colored
You know?
my hair purple for last year's Breeders' Cup.
Yeah, I did too.
Yeah.
Yeah. The key is just don't ask the higher ups and then
Just do it.
pretend like everything is normal.
Just say
I mean,
you're
don't-
representing.
Don't they always say that it's easier to ask for forgiveness than permission?
Yeah, yeah. And like I figured, you know, I mean, it'll help people find you in a crowd. So basically it's a public service.
That's true. That's true.
You
It's
know?
basically a highlighter. I'm over here, guys. Right over here. Can't miss me.
Now, I would not recommend that. I don't want this to sound like it was a blanket green light go for anything that you may do that would upset your wife, however.
Yeah, for whatever reason, I don't think she would appreciate. She actually likes my beard when it's really, really thick. When I haven't done anything as far as like, she likes it when it's really, really big and just out of control. Which is probably why like February is the ideal time as far as she's concerned. But you know, coloring it, debatable. I don't know how that would go over.
I feel like we're reaching the secret sharing portion of these shows.
Yeah.
But you know what? There is precedence for this because that is related to horse racing. Do you remember when Kendall Hansen wanted to color Hansen's smell blue for the blue?
Yes, that was fun. I have a guy.
Yeah. And
Also,
that was
my cat says hi.
and now correct me if I'm wrong. They didn't allow them to do it, right?
No, they didn't. But I think it could have been fun. If you have a gray horse and why not have a little fun with it?
Well, and it's not like they wanted to, you know, it was just like the tip of the tail. Like it wasn't like it was. You know.
No, exactly. I think it would have been nice.
I'm gonna go get some booze. I'll be right back.
You're walking into a hell of a conversation.
I know. I'm like, I want to. I shouldn't just should I just pull from this. Okay.
I mean,
Yes, just do it from the straight up.
Join in.
I just
Dan, you're muted still.
Oh, kitty cat.
I'm
I
struggling.
know.
I'm
I know.
struggling.
No.
Dad's shaking his head because we are like, it's like hurting cats.
Yes, it is.
So I brought a literal cat to the party.
Oh, who's that?
This is my cat, Barton. He's named for the street I found him on. And he is my buddy. He's been my buddy for 14 years. He's about 15.
No.
Next month.
Love him.
I want to say.
You ever call him Sir Barton?
I do. His other aliases include the French Butler, Barton, and words I can't say on a family live stream.
Okay.
There it is. I like that. That's that's the same with my parents with their dog.
Yeah, I mean, do you really love your pets if you're not calling them very creative
Correct.
things when they're being naughty?
No.
Jose.
Yes, Jose. Hey.
What's
Hi.
up?
Oh wait, we got a 2-for-1 here. Ooh.
Hey.
Oh, hi.
Tell me who you are.
Archer.
Hi, Archer.
Hi, Archer.
Hi.
Archie, who do you like in the Derby today?
Disneyland.
Nice. Well educated.
That's right.
And my favorite soccer player is Messi.
Messi. Ooh.
Who's apparently staying in Barcelona.
What's your favorite sport? Is it soccer?
Uh-huh.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
What else do you like?
It's horse racing.
It's horse race. Oh, that's what I thought.
Oh my gosh, he is so handsome.
Thank you.
Hey, have you guys watched Ted Lasso?
Yes.
You've seen
I haven't
Ted
seen
Lasso?
it. Is that good? I haven't seen that
It's
yet.
really funny. It's really good.
What is
If
it
you like
on? What is it
soccer,
on?
it's on Apple TV.
I'll check that out. That's Jason Sudeikis, right? Isn't that
Uh-huh.
him? Yeah,
Yeah.
I've heard about that. I heard that's good.
It's really good. Archer looks like he's looking for a way out. Oh, what have we got? Oh, what is that?
Yeah, we could give Archer bourbon.
No.
No, don't do that.
This is where the stream ends, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
The stream ends
All
right
right,
here.
what is it?
Just kidding.
Let's find out together.
As if Bree cursing out a certain racetrack wasn't bad enough earlier.
I like alcohol.
Oh,
Oh no!
Give me a
All right, I'm
double,
gonna go ahead and remove Bram and Archer from the
Yes.
screen.
Yeah,
Keep 'em young.
just cut the stream right here.
I like how I didn't want to say a bad word, and we're just like
Yeah.
children liquor.
Oh, it's been something.
Somebody cussed out a racetrack?
Oh yeah,
No.
yeah. You can watch the replay. It's on here.
Reaper.
Certain prominent racetrack that
Yeah.
big
Let's do one throwback that we could all really
Throwback?
appreciate.
Throwback.
A throwback. A couple of years ago, we were at the Derby and we had our cameras fixed on
Yes.
Terry Finley, who is the manager of West Point Thoroughbreds. It so happened that on that day, Terry Finley won the Kentucky Derby, and we captured video of it. So we wanted to show you this really cool up-close look at what it's like. Archer's pumped for it to win the Kentucky Derby. Greg, if you're still there, hit it.
They're all in line, ready for the start. They're off in the Kentucky Derby.
He broke.
It was a great start for Always Dreaming, and something went wrong with Thundersnow right away. Thundersnow is having trouble in the early stages here. Always
gotta get
Dreaming
him
going
off.
out to the lead with State of Honor. And then on the outside is Battle of Midway. Down toward the inside comes Fast and Accurate. Will be fourth early on. As
He's
they
sitting
race
pretty.
for the first time.
He's
Then it's
sitting
Irish
pretty.
Warriors
Oh, he's
outside
sitting. They're going to have a
Brady
tough
Sanders.
time with him.
And they're followed by Gormley on the outside, Practical Joke. And then to the outside, it is Pence. Or rather, Patch to the outside and saving all the ground there is.
No, he's all right. He got off the
down
track.
for the rail and racing about
It's
8
the
lengths
Dubai
off
horse.
the lead. Then back to Gervin and McCracken. Classic Empire.
Get
is behind
outside,
them.
Johnny.
Then it's Gunnavera. Taprit
Get
on the
outside, Johnny.
Looking at Lee is next. And then comes J-Boy's Echo, Sonneteer. And
Oh
on the
my
inside
God.
comes
We're gonna
Pence.
win the Kentucky
And
Derby.
having pulled up out of the race here was the colt from Dubai. The first half mile was in 46 and 2/5 seconds. So they move up the backstretch here in the Kentucky Derby. And the leader is State of Honor, pressed by Always Dreaming on the outside, who's just a neck back. Irish War Cry getting a 4-wide trip up the backstretch. Battle of Midway is right there too. Fast and Accurate starts to backpedal out of it. And then comes Gormley to the outside. Victor Espinosa is about 5 lengths off the lead as they make their way around the far turn. Always Dreaming and John Velasquez are in front. State of Honor is dropped back. Irish War Cry moves up on the outside. And it's taken second. Battle of Midway is midway between those two runners. And then it's a 3-man get Gormley. but Kraken has been unleashed on the far outside, and Classic Empire is beginning his charge, and he's coming wide as they turn for home. Always in front. Looking at Lee, taking a business to second.
What's better than that video?
And
I'm
Terry is such. I'm sorry. Terry is such a good guy. He's such a great ambassador for racing, and this is a moment people need to appreciate. I know they say sometimes, oh, these rich people, they go to the track with their horses that cost X amount of money. Well, the point of trying to get a horse into the Derby or getting a horse to the Derby is exponentially not in your favor odds-wise. It doesn't matter how much money you have. Look at Sheikh Mohammed from Dubai. He's tried year after year after year. Thunder Snow right there, we saw him act up and jump out of the gate, right? It's so hard. And for him to be in that position to even have a shot, and then when you see the humbleness, the appreciation he has for these horses, his group there, West Point, they're all solid people. They're so wonderful, and it was amazing. Dan and I were actually there.
Ren clearly not heavily invested in racing
No.
on an emotional level.
I'll tell you what, I wish there was any point in my life from a gambling standpoint, if I ever own horses or whatnot, never mind the Kentucky Derby, any race, where down the backside, we haven't even hit a half mile yet. I go, we're going to win the Kentucky Derby. I mean, that to me, he called it within the first 45 and a half seconds of the race.
Maybe the key, Matt, is to just say that every single race. And then, you're going to be right at some point.
Believe. Oh.
I tried to get the pour. I thought the pour would have been funny. Real quick, first of all, two things. One, shout out to the ABR video team. They are the apps. I know there are a lot of good people doing good things in racing. I think our video team is the best anywhere. So I love them.
I second that. The team you guys have there is unbelievable.
Fantastic.
Really, yes.
So awesome video. Great they captured that. I want to welcome in someone from our handicapping and hosting team. It's Ashley Mayu.
Hey, Ashley.
Hey, everyone. How's it going?
What's up?
Hello.
So, Ashley, you probably, you've seen us pouring liquor. You've seen kids popping into the show.
I got brand beat though because my bottle's gone. So.
Basil Hayden, is that what you have today?
Yes, I do.
Man.
And then the other men are up there, but I don't feel like going for them, so I'm just gonna stop with Hayden. Just put it down.
There you go.
But my bottle is larger.
I'm drinking Glenlivet, which is kind of weird on a day like today, right? You can't really drink.
Do we all have something different? So I have Angel's Envy.
Oh, that's a good one too.
Sounds good. Yeah.
I'm going. I just pulled up the bullet today.
Prosecco Bullet. Glenlivet.
I have an empty cup that used to have water.
Tabitha with the bottle.
Tabitha's got 46.
I have a bottle of water with electrolytes because I got to be on air later. Yeah, I got to be on air like in a couple hours. I got Costco water with electrolytes in it. There you go.
How did you not?
We're on air right now, Jose. I don't know what you think we're doing. This isn't a group chat.
Right now. We have somebody else trying to get in. I don't know who because we're at capacity. Tabitha, you're our longest tenure. Do you want to? Are you going to miss us?
I want to see if
Of course I'll miss you guys.
Oh, this is sad. You don't want to let Tabitha go, do you?
Go.
I would go if I could, but
you can bounce me. I'm just here for wearing a hat with roses.
I'm
you guys
a whole setup, Penelope.
We want to keep everybody.
You have enough, Tabitha.
Tabitha, we love you.
It was so great. Well, honestly, it was so great meeting you.
Yeah, it was great to be here, even virtually. I love you guys. I can't wait till one day when I can hug you all in person again.
And I'm so looking forward to this new network.
Yeah, check us out, NBCLX.
Hey, and Tabitha, by the way, I don't know. She's got winning impression. West Point Thoroughbreds, the same people you just saw celebrating, trying to do it again. All right, Tabitha, go get that money.
I will. Long shot. Bye.
Oh, she's awesome.
She's awesome.
She is awesome. And I really appreciated, by the way, Bram, Tabitha, and Ren doing what you did a little while ago and helping a brother out. So thank you.
What's up. I'm sorry.
Who's in the waiting room that you bounced Tabitha for?
Is it Billy?
This better be good. This better be good. This very
Hopefully
good.
they retry. They couldn't get in, but if they're watching.
I for no reason.
No, they're coming. Wait, look, we're gonna have to bounce somebody else soon too. So, but wait, we haven't heard anything from Sean. Sean, you've been around for the longest. Talk to us about the Derby.
I want to know. I want to know if the guest is Billy. Billy Koch? Is it Billy Koch? Is that the guest?
Unless he hacks into it, because
I wouldn't put it by him during our Pacific Classic feed. So, Derby. Tiz the Law looks like the real deal. I wouldn't be surprised if Tiz the Law goes off and wins off the page. So I'm looking for something to try and spice it up underneath. I really think Sol Volante is going to run a big race. I think he could absolutely chuck that last race out. I understand that the race.
Yes, it was 10 days after he won.
I'm sorry.
It was just after.
I got distracted. I'm sorry.
No, I agree with you because check that race out. He was coming off a 10-day turnaround, and he's going up against the likes of Tiz the Law.
And going into that optional claiming race at Gulfstream, you kept hearing, if they see enough out of Sol Volante, we're going to run back to the Belmont. And all I kept thinking to myself as a horse player was, I hope they see whatever they need to see in this horse, because a horse, even at a shorter distance, turning back in 10 days, running the Belmont, I'm playing against. So, obviously it worked out, somewhat in our favor. Tiz the Law obviously was a short price as well. So I'm excusing that effort. I really liked that closing kick in that Gulfstream effort. So I think we can kind of come back. That 57-4 bullet drill at Palm Meadows just jumps off the page. Looks like he's ready to go. And then I just think we're going to see a better effort from Honor AP coming out of that Shared Belief Stakes when he was knocked into coming out of the start. And also he didn't need the points in that race to get to the Derby. I'm pretty sure Mike Smith was told, we don't need 100% effort here. The big races is the Derby. So let's save a little in the tank for that. So for me, I need Sol Volante, the 16 and 17 Tiz the Law, and Honor AP to close out a pick 3. And I'm keen Honor AP and Sol Volante I need one of them to hit the board for a try and super and exactas.
He and I are together.
Awesome. So a couple of things. First, bottom right, welcome in Bonnie Jill Laughlin. Bonnie Jill, how you doing?
Hi, y'all. How are you? Nice to see you guys. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Bonnie Jill.
Dan, how are you? Nice to see you guys. I know you too.
Yes.
Bonnie Jill does it all. For those who don't know, Bonnie Jill is the first female scout in the NBA. She's a sportscaster and a horse owner. So we're going to get into a little bit more of that. Want to hear about that experience with Bonnie Jill. Sean, we're doing this again for Preakness, and we're going to give you more airtime. We suck. Sorry. Thank you.
It's all good. You're throwing me in the corner for the ticket structure. I totally get it. You know what? I don't hold it against you guys.
That ticket sucked, man.
Oh, there we go. Graham finally got his piece in. We got it.
Damn, Sean, we love you, brother. We'll see you back in a few weeks. All right.
All good. Thanks for having me on. Good to see everybody.
Bye, Sean.
Poor Sean.
I know. Come on, Bram.
We waited for so long.
He knows I don't mean it.
He waited for so long to have Bram just say, "Get out of here."
He knows I don't mean it.
Oh boy.
Before we do anything else, Bonnie Jill, can I just compliment you on your big hat?
Synergy
I had to do the whole hat because I've gone 20 years in a row and it just felt weird not talking Derby without having a big hat, right? So I wanted to bring you guys my big hat and dress and feel like we're in Louisville right now.
You look beautiful.
Oh, thank you. So do you.
Thank you.
Sorry, that's the Glenlivet. The Glenlivet.
I can agree, apparently.
No.
I think that was an agree. Okay.
I love the hat. Absolutely.
No, I thought it was about myself, about me.
No. Come on.
Okay. It's okay. We'll talk.
We are getting a lot of comments and questions about the race. We are your second screen experience here. We do not have the rights to actually transmit the race. Of course, you can watch that on NBC, but you stay with us for the next 28 minutes or so until they get into the gate. We're going to go around the room and get some opinions here. We know you're getting in those last-second bets, and we want to help you get those bets in. Jose, you've been around for a while on this stream, and you've also been around racing for a while. How do you approach this race? We've said it over and over again. You got a heavy favorite in Tiz the Law at 4-5 right now, and everything after that is 7-1 or higher. So do you take a shot somewhere else, or do you try to use Tiz the Law in combination?
I think, the more I looked at this race, the more I kind of circled around. I said, if I'm trying to build a case against Tiz the Law, is that something is going to happen for him to get beat. If he runs his race anywhere near his race, he's a winner. Essentially, if you're kind of building a case against Tiz the Law, is that he's going to get slammed out of the gate, he's going to get boxed in, something's going to happen. But if they just run the race, I just can't see him losing. And that's where it becomes a little bit of a dilemma. Are you banking that he's going to have a bad trip, or are you just trying to beat him because it's the Derby and you're trying to get a good horse at a good price? Because essentially these are the kind of races where you're going to get good horses at good prices, and that's the case. And the more I looked at this race, it's hard to build a case against Tiz the Law because drawn towards the outside, he's more than likely going to have a clear path, whether he's 3 deep, 4 deep every step of the way. Even if he's wide, I think the connection will prefer to have a wide trip, lose some ground, and get him into a clear, even stride. I think that's going to be his main thing. I personally can't build a case against him, but I am trying to see where can we make some money in the verticals. I'm looking at a horse like Solo Volante and New York Traffic. I think those two horses are a little bit interesting to me to make it a little bit of a better price. I'm keeping an eye on the exacta probables. Right now, the Tiz the Law over Sole Volante over the 12 and 15. So that's going to be right now. The exacta is $47 and to the 12.
Jose, let me pause you just for a second. I just want to kind of give a quick update here. In the paddock right now, 1,000 Words acting up. His whole saddle and saddle towel is off. For now, they haven't made any announcement or said anything, but it looks like he's acted up pretty severely. And but they've got him. They've got him, and he looks to be settling down now. So I just wanted to give all the viewers a heads up. That's what's happening at this particular moment. If we see anything, if we hear anything, we'll pass it on. Jose, continue.
Yeah, and I was just looking at the exacta probables to kind of give me an idea of. And the thing is, when you're handicapping races, at the end of the day, you like some horses, and in my mind, I try to think, what is a fair price I want on my top pick? Let's say if people like Honor AP, you're getting better than the morning line. If he thought he was going to be a 5-1, you like that horse at 5-1, you're getting better than the morning line. It comes down to what odds are you willing to take on the horse you like, and that's exactly what you kind of have to look forward to here. Tiz the Law was 3-5 with the morning line. I thought he was going to be much lower because of his form stands out in my opinion. He's currently at 4-5. So I'm going to watch the board and look at the exactas, but I really can't build a strong case against Tiz the Law. I think he gets his trip. He's a horse to beat for sure.
Yeah, when you just set it up a minute ago about Honor AP, and I looked at the odds, how do I not put a win bet in on Honor AP at 7-1?
That's
right?
the thing. I mean, if you're talking about a horse that is going to for sure get the distance, that's the horse you're looking at. Like, there's no question he wants to run all day. Whether he's good enough today, will he be the best horse? That is the question. But if you like the morning on a 5-1, you're getting currently a better price of 7-1.
Yeah. How do you not go for that? Ashley, we haven't asked you yet. How are you approaching this race? I know you like to wait till the very last minute to really form your bets, and I've learned this.
I'm done. I punch them. I shouldn't say I'm done. I'll probably bet more. Let's be honest. I agree. I mean, I think 'tis the law. Something's going to happen pretty dramatic for him not to win this race, especially if he's anywhere near the Travers. He's gone. I think he'll just kind of tower over the field. But it's horse racing. There's a lot of horses in the starting gate in the Derby. So looking at others, I mean, I think Honor AP's a logical use horse as well. I'm always shopping for value. So for me, I like New York Traffic. I think everyone's kind of divided on him. People think that he's not talented enough. Some people love him. I'm on the love side of it. I just thought he's a horse that I followed all year, and he just didn't have enough in some of his races. I mean, yes, he won at Gulfstream Park, but when he went in the Risen Star, he just didn't have enough to get the job done. Modernist won, Major Fed was second. And then we saw kind of a similar thing in the Louisiana Derby. He just still wasn't getting it done. And I thought the reason I like him today is coming out of the Haskell. I thought that was a huge performance. I mean, he just missed in there. He got a good trip from Paco that day. And he showed me a little bit of a different side from him because he did have that late kick that he sometimes lacks. So for me, he's probably the most value that I saw on the tote board. I know you always ask what my dad likes, so I will tell you. So last year, by the way, we have to say this. My dad loved Country House for like the week up to the Derby, and then the day of, he decided to change his bet to maximum security. And so when the DQ happening, he's like, maybe he'll get moved to second. I'm like, that's not the problem, Dad. Like, it's not that he's gonna get placed second. And then we heard about it for like 6 months.
Oh God!
He really likes South Bend. That's his horse this year. So
really,
we'll see. Yes.
Wow.
I heard about it. I tried to listen to the argument. I don't remember what it was. I kind of tuned it out at some point, but that's who he likes. But
Bill Mott, Tyler Gaffleone.
We'll see. We'll see what happens with Bill Mott this year. He left him last year. But
The horse is 30-1. By the way, we do have a quick update here. It appears 1,000 Words has been scratched.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, so 1,000 Words is out of the Kentucky
I feel
Derby.
so bad for all those. Oh gosh.
Wow.
Yeah, we surprisingly with 20 horses, in the Derby and all in one paddock, and usually it's earlier in the year, so they're younger and maybe acting up a little bit more. We don't really see many paddock scratches in the Kentucky Derby because these are all generally pretty professional horses.
Right.
So
Especially
very rare
if
to
you don't have
see.
the giant crowd there today. And you don't have the giant crowd there today either.
True.
That's too bad.
And the weather's okay because a couple years ago, I think that was probably maybe the year Nyquist won or the year after that when they had the really bad weather right before in the turf race and all of the signs that were hanging up flew off the roof.
Mm-hmm. That was fun.
Hey, Bonnie Jill, who you got here? Money Mike? You got Money Mike?
Well, if you really look at it, 'tis the law. He's the horse to beat. I mean, I don't think there's anyone who really could come close to him. But the only thing, if you wanted to kind of like nitpick, is that the only loss that he has had has been at Churchill Downs, which was last year in the slop, of course. But if you want to kind of nitpick, or the fact that all of his workouts have been really good, but they all have been at Saratoga. So that's something else to consider. But, I kind of have a connection because I have a horse that we retired off the racetrack, Storm Fashion, who's actually related to Tiz-a-Law through Tiz now, because Tiz now retired. So kind of there's a connection there. So kind of pulling for that horse. And then, of course, Mike Smith's a good friend of mine. So you can never, in a big race like this, you always know that Mike is going to do well. And I actually texted him this morning and he's like, yeah, we have a strong chance. So, he'll normally tell me like, don't bet, don't put all your money on there. But when it comes to long shots, I do like Max Player. He's one of the horses. I don't know if you guys have talked about him at all, but he's got a bunch of good workouts and he can go the distance and his buyer's ratings keeps improving. So, and he actually, I think he ran against Tiz-a-Law and did get embarrassed. It was right there. So that's a horse that I like as well, 30-1.
I agree on that.
Do you have any bets in? And what do the bets look like exactly?
Yeah, I did a bunch of exactas, trifectas, superfectas, and I kind of just keyed the two favorites, AP Honor and Tiz-a-Law with some of the long shots. So I did my bets last night.
Nice. Yeah, it's better to do that and kind of just get it over with, not second guess yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm excited because the husband just brought reinforcements.
Nice, it does. Matt, what do you think that this is, we're kind of, trying to handicap on the fly here a little bit. 1,000 Words projected to be forwardly placed, maybe even on the lead if there was traffic on the outside that allowed him to get there. How do you think this scratch plays into the pace dynamics of this race?
I would have found it very odd had both of the Baffert horses ended up dueling one another into submission. I know a lot of people brought up that they had similar running styles. To me, Authentic is naturally considerably faster than 1,000 Words is. I have nothing against 1,000 Words or, if we're being honest, against Honor AP, but I don't like the shared belief as a race as a whole. I refuse to believe that the 4 horses that ran that day all ran career best efforts, including the last place finisher Cezanne. The likelihood of that happening is incredibly, incredibly small. Could have been the case, but I would have been willing to bet against it. So 1,000 Words coming out to me is a negative because I thought he was just basically a toss anyway. From a pace standpoint, I feel like Authentic has to go. I don't think there's any two ways around it. Now, you're probably going to carry more ground. And if there are distance concerns, which I think potentially are warranted, that could obviously be a little bit of an issue. You don't want to be carrying any added ground if you don't have to. So I think they got to send out of there from the far outside. From a pace standpoint, though, for the favorite, Tiz the Law, frankly, I don't think it makes a difference. To me, I've thought all along, and as we get closer and closer to the race, I think something unforeseen is going to need to happen for Tiz the Law not to win, and not only not win for fun. I think we also need to keep in mind the Derby is typically run early on in the campaign of these 3-year-olds when things can be very, very volatile. We're at a point now where many of these 3-year-olds have taken that sort of summer step forward. The vast majority of this field has never run 10 furlongs. Tiz the Law ran his fastest race to date at 10 furlongs. There are so many things I can just continue to go on and on about where I don't think there's really a reasonable scenario for me to draw up, barring him being carried 10 wide throughout, for him not to win this race. And I know it's sort of an uninteresting statement. I'm going to be absolutely stunned if he doesn't win this race. Honor AP is a nice horse. Perhaps he's won 10 furlongs all along. If it's a looks contest, he wins by 100, but it's not. To me, this is probably going to sound stupid. I think 4 to 5 is value. I think he wins this race 70 out of 100 times, which roughly equates to 2 to 5 odds. I think this is almost 100% overlay. I think it's wild that he's 4 to 5 right now.
Hey, Jose or Matt, I don't try to get swayed too often by moves on the tote board, especially 16, 17 minutes out, especially in a race like this where a lot of money is going to come in late, obviously. The 4th choice on the board is money moves. And he went from 30 to 1 to 12 to 1. There's a lot of money being put on him right now. I mean, lightly raced, hasn't been in anything even remotely close to a race like this. Are you swayed at all by the amount of money that's been put in here early on him?
And that was kind of one of the things that I was interested on, because in the Derby, you have the big on-track crowd, and you have this money bet on horses' names, horses that, money moves. The money name would attract plenty of money if there was a big on-track crowd, right? But seeing this move right now, I don't know. It's a little bit interesting. It's hard to kind of say if there's something behind that. A horse that is essentially testing the Greatest Stakes Company for the first time. But if this was a big on-track crowd, I would have just chalked it up. Hey, it's the money name. There's a big crowd. People are putting money. I really don't know, to be honest. Don't know where this kind of money move is happening per se on the 7th.
If you're trying to sort of draw lines about where this horse may or may not stack up against his contemporaries, he finished in neck behind Prioritize in that most recent start. Prioritize earlier today. He's an older horse. He ended up running 3rd in the Woodward. So do with that what you will. Again, we're talking about 3-year-olds here in the Derby as opposed to Prioritize, who was an older horse in that spot. I suppose if you are going to get a wild move forward, maybe it is from a horse like this who is so lightly raced, who distance seemingly is going to be to his advantage. Also keep in mind Todd Pletcher's barn had Dr. Post all along, who I know a lot of people fancy. They didn't run him here in this spot. So again, do with that what you will. They chose to run this horse. If you're trying to draw up a case, I suppose that's one thing. To me, 12 to 1 is just a wild underlay. But that doesn't mean that he can't. It doesn't mean that he can't step forward and be competitive. But at 12 to 1,
Honor AP at 7 to 1.
Well, that's just it. If we're talking about it from like a percentage standpoint, how often do you think these horses win the race out of 100 based on the way the public has bet the race right now? You're telling me that this horse, Money Moves, who is still eligible for an N2X, is roughly a 7% chance. So he'll win the race 7 out of 100 times. Meanwhile, you're telling me Honor AP, who has been the bee's knees from jump, you're telling me he's going to win the race roughly 12% of the time. It's only a 5% difference. I refuse to believe that. I just think this horse is a terrible underdog.
You're trying to have less of a chance to win this race than Money Moves? Are you kidding right now? Are you telling me that? Really?
Guys, I can explain this.
Okay.
Okay, Cardi B just found out there is a horse. You cannot say that horse's name correctly. I can't help you. And she was like, "Okay, I got a bet. Solved."
Well, hopefully they don't name a horse after that new song of hers.
Yeah, right.
And right on cue, Dan's going to play the ABR WAP remix.
Let's not do that.
Like the call to post, like bleeping everything out.
That's when they pull the stream.
And you know, there's so many people right now are like, what are they talking about?
I know. I'm like, fill me in.
You don't want to know.
Too much, Ren?
We haven't had ABR wired Cardi B yet. Where's Greg on ABR wired Cardi B? Why haven't we had
That's
that?
our
one
next
yet?
video. That's our next video.
So what it is, there's a lot of people. This is kind of being, he's kind of like the wise guy horse. There's an upside angle. What is he? The dark horse. And that's what it really, is in combination with Cardi B just dropping dollars on it.
Right.
This is why I drink, okay? Because that doesn't make any sense to me.
I don't drink, and I completely understood everything that was just said.
Thank you.
Let me give you all. Matt just mentioned, and we talked about. I mean, maybe Money Moves is, a bit of an underlay at 12-1. The one that stands out to me as I'm looking at the board and I'm like, how is this horse? This horse may hit the board. I don't see any scenario in which this horse wins, but he's somehow the 1, 2, 3. He's the 5th shortest price max player at 18-1. That seems pretty short to me. Am I losing my mind? Do you think that's fair on max player?
I think you have to give any horse who has AP Indy in the pedigree a shot here. Any horse at a mile and a quarter who has AP Indy.
Okay.
And the thing that is so interesting also about this is AP as a sire never had a progeny win the Kentucky Derby. And look how many horses he has related to him in this year's edition. And we see this time and time again also. So in addition to your favorite Tis the Law because he's by Constitution is by Tappet, who's by Pulpit, who's by AP&D. You've got, again, Honor APs, by Honor Code, who's by AP&D. You had Fiddick the Fierce, who's by Dialed In, who is by Mineshaft, who's by AP&D. And so here's Max Player, another son of Honor Code. And who was it? Was it, whose dad likes South Bend?
My dad.
Okay. So South Bend, not only does he have AP&D in the pedigree, he's actually inbred the AP&D 3x3 because he's by Algorithms, who's by Bernardini, who's by AP&D, and then his dam is by Old Trieste, who's by AP&D. So
Jose, we're going to test you on all of this in 2 minutes. So.
Ren, for sure. Can I just tell you how much you're like, and I mean this in the best possible. Is it over pedigrees like speaks to my soul because everything that you're saying, I'm like, yes, 3x3 crosses.
Yes, baby. Great.
Let me tell you, Ren, real quick. I don't understand anything you just said. But because you made that case, I just played a superfecta with South Bend and Max Player.
Really? So. Wait. Here's the thing. Another horse who has AP&D, and this is just fun fact stuff. So Enforceable, I think he can get up for like 3rd or 4th. I do. He is by Tappet. He's a full brother to Mo Heyman, who was 4th in the 2016 Kentucky Derby. Not only that, though, he's a half brother to New Year's Day, won the 2013 British Cup Juvenile, but New Year's Day went on to sire Maximum Security. Okay, so that's pretty interesting from that angle. But the horse that other people have mentioned, and a horse that I've been talking about also, who I think can get up, because I'm really Tis the Law over Honor AP. I think Honor AP is going to love that stretch. It's 1,235 feet. He's going to stretch those soft legs for all it's worth. But another horse who I think will appreciate that is Solo Volante. And as we were talking about before, throw out the Belmont Stakes. That's off a 10-day turnaround. Okay, the horse has tremendous pedigree. Caracante, his sire, is out of a Sunday Silence mare. Okay, and then on the bottom side, you get more stamina. Yes, it's grass, but so what? His dam's a full sister to the dam of Ulysses, who was 2017's Carte Horse of the Year. Second dam is by Shirley Heights, who won the Upsom Derby and the Irish Derby. And then Shirley Heights himself is the son of Mill Reef. And Mill Reef won the Upsom Derby. He won the Prix de l'Arc de Triomphe. I mean, this is distance. This horse has class, and he's absolutely gorgeous. Conformationally.
Well, the gorgeous. Yeah, okay, good. I was gonna say because the gorgeous isn't gonna.
That matters.
Yeah, but
You know what the best part, because I agree with Ren and I agree with Ellis. I believe he brought up Solo
I also
Volante
agree
as
with
well.
everything Ren just said. By the way,
There's only two horses that I mildly intrigued with underneath, but honestly, I don't think it's a very good betting race unless you think Tiz the Law loses. Solo Volante and Enforceable. More importantly, though, with Solo Volante, I mean, there's a very, I'm not even going to say real scenario. I'm going to say a likely scenario. This is going to be one of those horses that next year, when they get him back to grass, he ends up being one of the best turf horses in the country because he's as good as he is on dirt. Everything says he's supposed to be a grass horse. He debuted his first 2 starts on turf. He's a turf stakes winner. This is one of those instances where the horse is so talented that he is competitive on dirt. It may not actually be the surface that he wants when it's all said and done. I still think he can get a piece of this thing today, but keep an eye on him going forward, especially because he's gelding. It's not like he's going anywhere anytime soon.
No, it's exciting. Like you said, the grass, you see it again because his dam is by King Mambo. King Mambo is a son of Mr. Prospector and out of 2-time Breeders' Cup mile winner and Hall of Famer Miesk. And Miesk is up top too, but I won't get into that because it'll confuse you.
Penelope, what do your bets look like here?
Well, that $20 I bought into on the pick 5.
That money's gone. That money's gone. Bonnie Jill, you were the only smart one who did not.
I didn't get involved.
I was going to do it, Dan, and then I ended up. It was too late, but now I guess I made the right decision.
You and Matt are the big winners. Yeah.
So I. After we lost the first leg of the pick 5 and then subsequently lost the second leg, even though we already lost the first, I was like, and I'm done for the day. So I just made picks on Stay Lucky instead because that requires absolutely no financial investment. And I am the bettor who gets so angry when I lose money, but it will never be offset by any amount that I win.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Nice plug for the Stay Lucky. Nice plug.
There you go. I was just about to say that was a great plug.
Thank you.
Just out of curiosity, since we did throw his name into the conversation, Enforceable is a horse who I think he has a lot of talent. The problem has been a bit mental for him. His connections have mentioned that. This is going to be a big test for him, I think. And he's a horse that, as I mentioned before, would love this stretch with that pedigree, but he needs to have his head on straight. And I don't know. I haven't been following the mornings going on as closely as some others do. Has anybody seen any reports about how he's been working toward this start here in the Kentucky Derby?
From what I've heard, it's positive. But to your point, there's a difference between being out there in the morning and being out there, on game day. And I think it's a warranted concern for a horse like this. And everybody loves a good tap it, but at the same time, it's a coin flip. Are they going to have their head on straight or not? So with this one, would it stun me at all if he ran up the track? No. But to your point, Ren, I feel like he's a horse that the distance will not get him beat. And now I don't think he's as talented as some of the top 2 or 3, but keep in mind, early on in this campaign, when we thought the Derby would be run sort of standard time, he was on the short list. He was 3.5 to 1 in the Louisiana Derby. It's not like, he just kind of came out of left field. And, I brought up something earlier today on Twitter. Don't hold that bluegrass against him, not just because of the layoff, but Keeneland that day specifically, main track, you couldn't make up any ground.
Right.
He tried to rally from way out of it. For me, it was nothing more than just sort of shake the rust off and try to take a step forward here in a spot like this. I think it's a well warranted point, though, that mentally he may be a little bit immature still.
There's 5 minutes to post here in the Kentucky Derby. I
might have to run upstairs to watch the race when it goes off, and I'll run back.
Oh, you can't leave. Okay, you can leave. You can leave. So, yeah, you do it. Go. You should. Yeah, you could do it. Yeah, totally do it.
Hey,
but
Dan, you want to throw a wild card out there just for everybody to chop up?
Yeah.
Go for it.
No one has said his name all week.
Uh-oh.
Frankly, I don't know how good he is, but look, if Julian Leperoux is not riding the hair off, storming the court out of the gate, then we've screwed something up. Because this horse, the only way that he can win is by going. And if Authentic and company, if they're afraid of the distance, very similar to the ride that we saw in Gamine yesterday, where, let's be honest, if they were confident with the distance, they would have opened up. They wouldn't have run down that 48 half mile. If you throw out a 46 in a piece with Storm the Court, if you don't think the distance is going to be a problem for him, I'm not saying he's going to win. I'm not saying he's going to even hit the board. But, you came cross country. What do you have to lose? You got to go, don't you?
There's two wild cards in this race. There's two wild cards in this race. Storm the Court is one of them, and Sol Volante is. Sol Volante had a crazy monster stretch finish back in the spring. He does something like that again. He's either going to hit the board or scare the winner. And Storm the Court, as of this time last year, was one of the best horses in the game. So they are the two, to me, that like are the total complete wild cards that could shake the whole thing up. Outside of that, it's Honor AP Tislaw, New York Traffic, and don't at me with any of the other ones.
Regardless of the outcome, I will be so upset if he is not aggressively ridden. Because you will have given him no chance to win.
Yeah, you got to put him in the race,
I love Julian, and I always say he's one of the best turf riders in the country. We know that rushing a horse out of the gate and getting to the front with them on the dirt is not his game. So I will say that.
What do we think about the trainer change from Linda Rice to Steve Asmussen for Max Player?
I think generally positive. I mean, I don't think it's a negative.
To Den's point earlier, though, the idea of Max Player at 18, I've never been a huge fan of the horse, but at the same time, if I'm looking at he at 18 or Money Moves at 12, I would take Max Player every day of the week.
Well, that's what I keep on looking at. Is I don't know why this Money Moves is this low. I mean, kind of looking at the races, and I kind of just tossed this horse to begin with, right? But I'm looking at the maiden win. The runner-up, Sagamore Mischief, is now an 0 for 12 maiden. And then Edge of Fire, we haven't seen that one since Belmont in, I believe, early July. And that was a horse that was going to probably go to the plate because it's an Ontario bred. So I don't know what this horse has faced. You look at Sproul, 5th in the Ohio Derby, right? Dean Martini was the winner there. And then last time out was 9th in the Ellis Park Derby. So I can't bet this horse at 12 to 1. I would totally take all my money if I had to pick between them. Max Player, day and night. Yep. I mean, I think the horse, we talked about this and something else I was on earlier this week. I think he's a used horse for 3rd and 4 in the try, but he's not a horse to keep. I'm not going to single him for 3rd and hope that he gets 3rd. I mean, he could, but I don't see him any higher on a ticket, really, in theory.
Agreed.
Bonnie Jill, we have bounced around the room. I want to open it up to two things. One, since we're all going to be super immersed in this race in a moment, and then probably just kind of go off air. I wanted to give you an opportunity to let people know kind of what you've been up to and what you're working on at the moment. And then also if you have any final thoughts before the horses enter the gate here.
I know, I'm watching right now. They're ready to enter the gate. Well, right now, because of the COVID and stuff, I've been doing all my studio stuff at home. So I've been immersing myself in barrel racing. You know, I've been a barrel racer forever. And now I've got a new mare that I'm working with. So I've been using her, my horse, and actually the one that we tried off the race track. We're going to see if he maybe can run some barrels too. Some thoroughbreds are okay with barrels, some not. Mostly are quarter horses, but so I'll have 2 horses that I'll be working on barrels. So right now, it's all rodeo for me right now.
That's awesome. So cool.
So, you know,
I'm going to run upstairs.
Yeah, go for it.
I'll run back as soon as
our viewership is going to drop like precipitously when you leave.
But I will run back for reaction. Don't
all right, so stay tuned.
Share on the stream without me.
We actually at this moment have almost 2,000 people watching us across our social channels. So
I will be back. Don't miss me too much. I will leave this in my wake.
All right, come on back. Come on back.
I just did something I've never done before, and especially in a field of this size. I mean,
you bet $2 to show on every horse.
Correct. Yeah, I made a giant win bet on the 4 to 5 shot. This is the overlay of the year, barring something ridiculous happening.
Yeah.
Is anyone else betting straight win money on this horse?
I agree with you on the odds. Totally, Matt. I think 4 to 5 is more than a fair price on Tiz the Law. But then the only thing is the large field, the opportunity for traffic. But as far as you just looking at a horse. For price-wise, I mean, his price is way better than what I thought he was going to be.
By the way, my dad is coming into the shot here. He's going to be watching on my computer. Say hi to everyone here.
Hello, everybody. Hello.
He still has his mask on. He doesn't trust me. He's got the mask on in the apartment.
I have so many questions for your dad. It's just not the time for it.
It's not. Look, I could take. He said he has a lot of questions for you. He said this is not the time. All right, so we're watching the feed that's slightly ahead of TV.
I was going to say I'm slightly ahead as well. I won't talk.
I'm going to sign off to watch the race, you guys.
All right.
Be well.
Nice talking to you. Bye.
Easy.
Happy Derby.
Is this going to be the quietest 2 minutes that we've had?
Have they
I
broken?
gotta mute myself.
They're
I
off.
might say bad words.
They're off.
So.
They're off? Okay, yeah. We're off.
They're off.
Crying out loud. My feed is the worst.
All right. So what happened?
Relatively clean. One horse that got pinched a little bit. I believe those are the Silks of Honor AP. I could be wrong.
Who is that out wide? Is that Authentic?
Yes.
Yeah, Authentic's still trying to clear. Storm the court. Matt, you called it. Storm the court. Look, Authentic got over pretty cleanly.
They're not even in the gate on the NBC.
All right, then I don't want to spoil it then.
No, go ahead, please.
Are you sure? I mean,
yeah. I mean, everyone else is watching this and seeing what's happening.
Authentic is cleared off to the front. They went relatively quick for 1.25 miles, 22 and a piece, just a shade under 23 for the opening quarter. They're onto the backside now in 46 and 2. You've got New York Traffic stalking Authentic. It looks like the Haskell all over again. You've got Storm the Court in third, down on the inside. 3-4 wide perched in the clear. The trip everybody and their brother drew up for Tiz the Law is the one he's getting if he's good enough. There's no excuse for him to not win from here.
Honor AP by the way. Honor AP 3 wide last. That's
there is. I'm saying this definitively. Zero excuse for this horse not to win. Tiz the Law. Meanwhile, Authentic's moving relatively well in the front. Then here comes Manny. He's like a car. Somebody's making a sweep move from the back, though. Who is this?
The 9, Mr. Big News.
Holy smokes. Could you even imagine? Manny's still riding confidently, shaking the reins at him. They turn for home. Tiz the Law is not going by.
Oh, boy.
Authentic's digging in.
Here comes Honor AP on the outside. I don't think anybody's getting up there.
I don't. Unbelievable. You've got to go buy this horse. And he didn't do it.
Wow.
Authentic.
Wow.
Get out of here. Authentic? Get out of here.
The only thing you can say about this horse, A, he got the right ride. Don't get cute. Your asset is your speed.
I don't believe you, so I'm still watching it.
Yeah, I mean, B.
On this one.
The Haskell, I happened to be down there that day. It wasn't because of the distance. Everyone kept saying it. He is the biggest goofball you've ever seen. And today he just had his head on right for whatever reason.
Look, he did a quarter in 22 and 4, a half in 46 and 2.
Wow.
Tiz the Law should have gone by. I mean, this horse, he ran it in 2 minutes flat. Well, 2 minutes and 3.
Yeah, honestly, and maybe this is being a little bit nitpicky. Tiz the Law, a little bit late with the lead change. I'm gonna go back to the stream from a few weeks ago. Dan, I think there's a scenario in which you were correct that perhaps he was too sharp.
You don't run that kind
because
of race in the track.
He's supposed to win this race.
Yep.
I did not. Nope, I didn't have this.
Yeah.
I'm going to be completely honest.
Wait, what were the times? Give me the splits again, Matt. What was it? 22?
22.92, 46.41,
right?
10.23, 35 flat, 2 minutes 61 for the final time. This was all around.
A huge race. I mean, what are you going to do? He ran a huge race.
Yeah, a very legitimate performance. And yeah, look,
Johnny B.
I didn't think the distance was going to be the problem. The problem was I thought Tiz the Law was that much superior, and today he did not. He didn't show that. He ran a good race. But he was second best.
I'll be honest. I did think that the distance was going to be a problem. I absolutely did. The horse, he's got a bit of a speedy, more speed favoring pedigree. He looks a little more compact than some of our classic looking horses. But hey, if I'm going to be wrong, I'm super stoked that it's for a group like my racehorse. That's got to be amazing. The fact that you have so many people who had vested interest in seeing this horse. You have a shot at the Derby, and not only did he have the shot, but he actually won. I can't imagine what that does for everybody.
A friend of mine bought a piece of this horse for like $100.
I'm a huge fan of Michael Behrens, who helped conceive of my racehorse. So congratulations to all of you. I hope if there's any feeling of deflation that is being emitted from this broadcast, please don't take that personally. I think we just all were hoping to see Tiz the Law do something unprecedented in an unprecedented year.
No, and I think that's an important point. It's not a disappointed feeling. Right. It has more to do with if the horse was what we thought he was supposed to go by.
Yeah.
Frankly, if I'm being honest, and that doesn't mean I'm not trying to throw shade, but If he was, you know, I mean, I've gone on record saying I thought he was in the ranks of the recent sort of big names that we've seen.
Yeah.
And Arrowgate goes by, Pharaoh goes by, Justify probably goes by. I mean, I'm a little bit disappointed, and that's why I want to say give Dan a little bit of credit, because I wonder if
you had him.
I can't help but think that perhaps it was an instance of he was just so damn sharp 4 weeks ago.
Yeah. I think this is, I mean, honestly, this feels like that horse ran a huge race. Yeah. And I don't know that you can overthink that. Like, if he's going to run those split times and go wire to wire like that, he's not going to get beat by much. So, you know, I'm with you, Matt, on if like the times were a little different, then I would be like, where was Tiz the Law today?
Totally.
But if Authentic is going to run those kind of times and go wire to wire on that, man, it was just his day. So good on Baffert and that team for getting him ready to run a race like this today. That's amazing.
Good on Johnny. Don't again. I use your speed
with his horse, and you
Yes.
say, you know what? I'm gonna make him catch me. I want to make him try to beat me.
Yeah.
I mean, shout out to Johnny. He rode that race like, you know what? If I'm gonna have a shot to win this race, I'm gonna have to make him chase me.
Yeah.
I want to be in front, and if they gotta beat me, they gotta beat me. And he gave his horse every opportunity. I mean, that was shout out to Johnny. He rode his horse like, you know what? I'm gonna try to make him beat me. I don't care what I'm doing up front. Come and catch me, and he won the race. So
it had come up. It had come up on a number of shows I've done throughout the week. The idea of nobody was going to go and pass Tiz the Law. If he was going to lose, it was going to be somebody who already sort of had the head start, and you just saw it play out.
Yeah. So presumably, Mike Smith opted to ride Honor AP over Authentic. That's another potential storyline. But the ride opens up for Johnny V. The Hall of Famer does what a Hall of Famer does. So that was incredible. Again, he went fast, and I'm not going to, again, belabor this point. There's no way we could ever possibly know whether Tiz the Law would have won this race if he did not run in the Travis, or at least did not win, by open lengths as he did, and do it as, clearly he was cranked up for that race. And I know they wanted to win that race. That was the storyline, right? Saratoga guy. They want to win at Saratoga. Get it. But in the process, you got to wonder. I mean, especially just kind of just hanging there, just being flat, which he's never done.
Yeah.
Obviously flat. The tank was not fully full. Yeah. Never done that.
I'll nitpick a little bit. I mean, I'm watching the replay now, and in the stretch, he bumps right into Authentic. I mean, so I don't know. You want to nitpick the ride. I mean, that's there.
No, but I don't know that you want to nitpick the ride. The only thing I picked up was, again, this has been a horse who has been the epitome of professionalism, and he was, again, I am splitting hairs. He was a little bit late to get over to that right lead, and I don't know if that's a sign of maybe starting to trend off form or what? Because again, he lost by a length and a half. It's not like he got embarrassed, but I can't help but wonder. And this is nothing more than Monday morning quarterback or Saturday evening quarterback. Maybe he was at 95% today as opposed to 100%.
Yeah.
Well, and Authentic was at 105%. So what do you know what I mean?
I guess
if he wins by a mile. I mean, that's the crazy thing here, really. I mean, he wins by a mile, and the 46-1 horse comes in second by 6 lengths. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, what happened with Honor AP? I mean, I guess I don't know. I'm just still sort of trying to absorb all this, but I do want to say big shout out to Into Mischief. Not only has he just been sensational as a sire, he now has a Derby winning son to his credit. And just to, people who may not know, I mean, I know all of you do, but we got to give a shout out to that fact that, Into Mischief himself is a half brother to one of the greatest, horses. I won't even make it about sex that we've seen in Beholder, 4-time Eclipse champion. And so it's really exciting because to see him have a horse win the Kentucky Derby when there are rumblings about, is this going to be sort of a Northern Dancer of our generation? In terms of just imparting grade 1 talent, whatever the distance is, but to have a classic winner is pretty exciting. And again, just huge congratulations to all the ownership. And that's why I just feel bad. Like I said, the deflation is not toward them. We're happy for them, of course. It's just, when you have all this anticipation of, do we have a Triple Crown in play? Do we have something that we've never seen before happen? There were people, I don't know if you were like me, but I was already thinking about Tiz the Law versus Tom's de Tie in the Classic. So, there's all that.
Ren. Like, you may still get that. What you think he's not going to be in it because this? He may still get that.
I don't know. He's done enough in the year. I just don't know.
Maybe he skips the Preakness. Maybe.
Well, you know what the wildest part is now?
Maybe he doesn't. Maybe he runs in it.
He's not champion 3-year-old right now.
True.
Authentic is champion 3-year-old. With the Haskell and the Kentucky Derby to his name?
You wouldn't run him in the Preakness right now? I would.
No, what I'm saying is right now, Authentic is the champion 3-year-old.
I don't know.
I don't know if I agree with that, Matt.
How late do you want to go? Bram, how late do you? Because we could debate this. Right? We could hash this out.
I thought about that, and that's why I got the bourbon, Dan, because it would loosen me up and not be as strict about all of this.
You got me all night.
Don't you guys?
I did. Okay, so here's the thing, right? If we're gonna do this, Matt, we're gonna do this.
Go on, please.
Okay.
Now it's on.
So I think that the argument for this is how much does the Derby outweigh the Belmont and the Travers, right? At this point.
And the Florida Derby.
And keep in mind, I'm not saying I would vote for him, but he right now a Derby head-to-head against Tiz the Law and beat him on the square, and a Haskell is going to outweigh those 3 grade ones, especially in a year where the Belmont was a 1-turn mile and an 1/8.
Yeah, that was weird.
So I want Penelope is prepared to fight you. So please go ahead.
No, I don't think it's as closed book as you're saying it is, just because he's got the Florida Derby, he's got the Travers, he's got the Belmont. I think that either it has to come down to now what happens in the Preakness or what happens in the Breeders' Cup Classic, depending on if they meet again, because while Authentic did beat him in this Derby, you can still make a case.
All I'm saying is the precedent for a Derby winner to not be the 3-year-old champion.
Yeah.
It's about this big.
I know. I just want to argue.
They posted the payouts yet? Have they posted it?
Let me read these. $2 exacta. You got them there?
I have the trifecta. I want to hear what the trifecta is.
So the trifecta for $1, for 50 cents paid $6.55. So you're looking at about what was that, $13.10? Ashley, the mathematician. That sound about right?
What'd you say?
$6.55 times 2
The
equals
50-cent try is $6.55.
Yep. So 10-cent super paid $7.92. Decent, but maybe not as high as you think with Mr. Big News third. I don't know.
Where did Money Moves finish up? Just out of curiosity.
I gotta pull that.
The wise guy horse.
Your $2 double paid $17.60. No, it paid $2.54. That makes more sense. Pick 3 for 50 cents paid $2.78. Your 20-cent pick 6 paid $278,000.
Wow.
And your 50-cent pick 5 paid $76,653. I believe we got one race right, in case we were wondering.
One's better than none.
Some people might go forward saying, well, maybe he just doesn't like Churchill Downs. But remember that other race was on slop. And I don't think he lost because of the slop, to be honest with you. Just maybe, I was talking to Randy Gullett, who actually bred Tiz the Law with Twin Creeks Racing. And he was saying also, because it was something that we forget, and I wonder if maybe they should actually start marking this in the form, to be honest with you, is that race was also at night. And some horses just don't like running later in the day, either just because of the routine situation with their food and whatever, or sometimes they just don't, the opticals, they don't like it. The slop, with being an Indy line horse, I don't think that would have been the issue here. And here, I just really think it's a matter of, it was the catch me if you can, and Authentic got the jump on everybody else and couldn't contend. I'm actually surprised. They went pretty fast for the half, if I recall. Like I said, I only saw it up there real quick. I think it was 46 and change or something like that. So I'm surprised. Authentic, I got to give credit. He showed a lot of guts, and you could see how tired he was in that stretch. There was a minute there, it's like, well, maybe Tiz the Law can go by, but Tiz the Law was also just spent at that point as well. If there was another horse who had the type of speed to stay close, they would have been able to close on him, but there just wasn't that animal in this race today.
I mean, Authentic's only chance was to get out to the front. I didn't think he'd go the distance.
Yeah, I did
That's
not
why
either.
I thought, like, once they turned for home, I'm like, well, he's going to get past. I didn't think he'd go the distance, but good on them for figuring it out and doing it. It's amazing.
By the way, you're about to see a viral video coming out of the winner's circle. Authentic knocked over Bob Baffert.
Oh, no, Bob, okay?
Day 2020, he knocked Bob Baffert backwards and he fell, but he looks like he's okay. He bounced. Yeah.
I love Bob. And, I only laugh because I figured no one's going to post something if something's seriously wrong.
Yeah, no. He it looks like he got right.
The internet, though, Ren.
Well, that's true. People,
who do you got in Arlington Park in the next race?
Jump to Meadowlands. We have Ashley here. She could.
No, my dad already said I'm going to hit a big one. We're playing the Meadowlands, and I said some words that were basically like, "No way," but much stronger wording.
Who's the cat? What is the cat? Who's that?
Spartan, who's already on the show. Were you not paying attention? He's very popular.
Have you noticed how much bourbon I've been drinking in the last 40 minutes?
He was boozing. So are we going to go final thoughts?
Are you going to play the video?
We going to play the video? Or are we waiting for it?
Tell the cat so he could see.
Oh, yeah. Show the video. So long as he's okay. I don't know.
Video? I don't have the Baffert video.
You literally said, I'm going to show a viral video here in just a second.
No, I said it's going to be a viral video tonight. I'm just waiting on the final order of finish. I want to figure out where Money Moves finished.
Money Moves. You got to say it right.
He was in the back five.
I spent, I think, about $700 on.
I feel like I could have been more wrong about this year's Derby.
No, me too.
Storm the Court, I think, finished about 5th or 6th. I mean, Storm the Court, who everyone pegged to finish last based on recent efforts, finished 5th or 6th. It looked like max player. So here it is. Authentic, Tis the Law, Mr. Big News, Honor AP. Yes, Storm the Court, then Enforceable. Wow.
What else?
They cut away from the shot.
Okay.
I believe last might have been South Bend. He was last on the gallop out. So
you're of course.
Who was last?
I believe South Bend. I don't know. He's last on the gallop out. I mean, he was towards the back 3 at least.
It looked like Enforceable made a nice move up the rail. Let's see if they cut away from the shot.
I think one of the things that people do this with the Belmont all the time. We talk about it, and I'm sure you guys will agree. Who day in day out are handicapping. For example, the Belmont, they're like, oh, you need a horse who can go 1.5 miles, yada yada yada. But if you have a horse who has speed, who can carry it, a speed horse can win. You don't have to look for a closer in a long distance race. If you have a horse with speed that can carry, but the problem is we were skeptical of this horse being able to carry the speed, the distance here. And that's what it comes down to. But props, man. And I'm excited because there's an Into Mischief filly. Wait a second. No, I'm sorry. Into Mischief half sister by American Pharaoh. $8 million purchase. She's been named. I can't remember what it is. Do you know, Penelope?
Oh, I don't know.
I'm on Twitter. What?
The half sister to Into Mischief Beholder, Mendelssohn, by American Pharaoh, the $8 million.
Oh.
Is it American Heiress or something?
Wasn't it something to do with I'm not even going to say it. I thought it was something to do with a quarterback.
I don't know. I can't remember her name. Was
It's
it
a filly?
I don't
Oh, look at that. Who's that?
Beholder, American.
Who's that, Jose?
Is that Teddy Bear?
Oh my gosh, he's so
Where's Sir Barton? So we can meet a new
Yeah,
friend.
Penelope.
Yo.
Jose wants to show
Oh my goodness, the baby.
Yes.
This is
you totally just sidetracked Penelope from her.
I know, God. I know. She was working for me, man.
It's over.
Walking at the door, so I had to let him in.
On a serious note, we'll get cute and then we can be funny. I just want to also just say thank you for having me be part of the show. I'm not trying to be but just in all honesty, I lost my father in January. He would have been 83 years old today. And he was an amazing man who did extraordinary things in this world. He did make this world a better place. And he would have gotten such a big kick out of the Kentucky Derby. If it had to be rescheduled, he would have gotten such a huge kick out of it taking place on his birthday. So this has actually offered me such solace. It was a day that if this was not happening, I probably would have been very apprehensive about. I have him on the wall above me right there. So he's been here this whole show with us, and he loved the horses, and he would have really enjoyed this broadcast. So thank you so much for all that. And I do think, I mean, I would have been emotional anyway. I do think that was part of it when we were watching back Always Dreaming Winning and Terry Findlay with his son. It was making me think of just the times I've enjoyed the racetrack with my dad.
Yeah. You know what, Ren? Like my father taught me how to read a daily racing form before he taught me how to play ball. And, you know, I got to take him to Belmont for the first time when Big Brown was going for a Triple Crown. Because I wanted to share that with him because I thought we'd see it for the first time in I'm old enough for the late 70s, but I don't remember it. I hoped I was going to see that with him live. So I'm with you. Like, and my father died a few years back, and I'm with you, and I know how special it is. And my connection to the sport is also really through my father. So,
Well, Ren, you and I should have been twins because today's my mom's birthday, and I know she's so happy birthday to my mom.
Happy birthday to your mom.
The woman who taught me how to foal a mare.
Oh my
God.
Well, yeah, much love out to you, Ren, and
thank you.
We are honored to have you on every time you join us, and your dad did an awesome job.
It's an honor to be with all of you. I mean, we're a racing family, and I hope if anybody's watching and this is maybe the first time they've ever tuned into a broadcast, I hope they understand that the racing community, we're so diverse, we're so fun. We're not these it's not just all about pomp and circumstance and the horses. We're a good time, and and on top of it, there's a legacy that goes behind these horses. They tell a story. Every pedigree tells a story. And so I hope that, if anything, if you just, again, tuned in for the first time, maybe you stayed with us after watching Lauren and Ari from The Bachelor. I don't know. Yeah. I hope you stay with us and you become a part of our little dysfunctional family.
It's like a really fun cult where you can make money and drink bourbon.
Yes!
Don't give it away. That's the fun part of the whole thing.
Before we go, for the hardcore folks out there who are waiting for this order of finish, Authentic first, Tis the Law second, Mr. Big News third, fourth, Honor AP, fifth, Max Player, sixth, Storm the Court, seventh, Enforceable, eighth, New York Traffic, ninth, Necker Island. I think got right his odds. 10th, Major Fed, 11th, Sole Volante.
Wow.
Winning Impression. 13th, Money Moves. And then, Ashley, me and your dad have something in common. We finished last and second last. 14th is attachment rate.
At least you were not last, though. That's the key, Dan.
If Sole Volante's connections are watching, grass, people. Next out. Let's try grass.
I don't know why I take joy in Dan going on the reach pick all week and then finishing 14th, but I do. I don't know why.
Hey, I'm going to go with that's whole thing about me being right 2 weeks ago. I want a victory 2 weeks from now. If I can get one 2 weeks from now, I'm happy. So, by the way, my prediction at this moment, no Preakness for Tis the Law. Go straight.
Yeah. I think they're going to rest him. He's done enough right now. So
what, Breeders' Cup Classic? That's what you think? He'll go there.
I hope so.
Yeah, probably.
All right. Let's just do a quick last word from anybody. Jose, you're going to work. You're working.
I'll be on air on TVG in about a couple of hours, checking in for the nighttime program at Los Lomitos. I know your dad wants the pick of the night, Dan, so I'll give it to you right now.
Hey, get the pick from him.
Yeah. Tell your dad, race number 2. Let's try to make some money back with Son of a Queen in race number 2 from Los Al. So,
down.
He's got the pen and pad.
Yes, race two, the 6th horse, Son of a Queen. Let's see if we can make our money back with the 6 and race 2 from Los Al. So I'll be on air in a few hours on TVG. Thanks for inviting me on, guys. Good to see all of you guys virtually. Stay safe, and hopefully I'll see you guys in the next one.
Be well, Jose.
Thank you.
I'm going to go handicap the Monday holiday card from Monmouth Park. I had to handicap the Sunday card between this and I was on HRN today for the undercard for about an hour and a half. So I'm going to do that, probably have another drink, and hopefully take a long snooze until the morning. But other than that, I got a couple other race cards I got to get a jump start on for Monday and Tuesday. Only other side note is while we were doing this, I was alive in the late pick 4 at Monmouth, and I was crushed by a 20 or 30 to 1 shot in that. So
Always fun.
Yeah.
Always fun.
Great to see you guys. Have a good night.
Missing you.
Be well.
Have a good night. Penelope, parting thoughts?
That's horse racing. You think you've got a sure thing, and along comes Bob Baffert, right? My goal is to make Dan snarf bourbon like live on air and just the horrible burning agony. That's what the tip is.
Oh my gosh.
No, but like you said, I think we were all really hoping to see big things and have a Triple Crown run in this very strange year. But 2020 got a 2020, and Authentic was the real deal. Myself for that more than anyone else does, so don't even try. No, but like he was huge. I'm like you said, Ren, I'm so glad that his ownership group, so many people who bought in for such a reasonable amount of money, own a Kentucky Derby winner now.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. And as a final just thought, Ren, thank you for sharing that story about your dad. I'm glad that he is with us through the photograph and through his spirit and through you, because you're an amazing person, and I'm so lucky to call you my friend.
Oh my gosh, I love you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Don't cry.
I'm sorry. The honest to goodness truth, as far as the wrap up of the race, absolutely concur with everything that Penelope just said. That's why I mentioned before, I dressed a New Year's type of thing. This is actually the crown from my, or tiara from my wedding, which my dad came in from Iraq for, because he had been working as a cultural advisor in Iraq. Still married to my mom here in the States, but working there. But he flew in for our wedding. And so I went with this because this year's been the most heartbreaking of my life. And I know it's not been easy for anybody else, given with everything that's happening with COVID and everything. But on top of it, to lose your father, who you're close with, and there's so much of you that is dedicated to what he instilled in you, was beyond agony. So this year's just been awful with some glimmers like this, like hanging out with all of you. And I decided, you know what, today, it's his birthday. I'm going to think of this as a rebirth going forward of 2020. I'm going to dress up like it's New Year's Eve, and I'm going to go forward. It's going to be game on from here on out. So that's why. So thank you so much for saying that. What I'm going to be doing after this is I'm actually going to go eat a cupcake because it is his birthday. And I'm going to raise that cupcake not only to him, but your mom as well. Happy birthday to her. And, our parents, it sounds to me like we all have this connection. This is why we are with these horses and following these stories and furthering it on, almost as you see generation after generation of these horses go forward and try to contend on the big stage. We're following them just like our parents and their parents were, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
Matt, last word?
Yeah, I mean, from a racing standpoint, tip of the cap to everybody involved with Authentic. Everything about the sort of lead into this for that horse was fantastic. And again, he proved himself today. It wasn't a matter of the best horse not winning. The best horse won the race today on this given Saturday, and it happened to be Authentic. Tis the law. While a little bit of, I'm not going to call it disappointment to lose by a length and a half in the Kentucky Derby. Maybe a little bit of the air was let out of the balloon. There's no reason that he can't rebound in a big way, whether it is in the Preakness or it's in the Breeders' Cup Classic in a few months' time. And to me, I guess that's sort of where the eye goes, not just the Preakness, but I'm thinking 8 weeks from now, you're looking at a field potentially anyway in the Breeders' Cup Classic that has Tom's d'Etat, Maximum Security, Improbable, by my standards, who won a race yesterday, Authentic, It's His the Law, Honor AP. I mean, you name it, they're all going to be there. And that's not even bringing up the potential of having a horse like Midnight Bisou, or who knows. I don't know that Monomoy Girl would go there, but you never know. I mean, there's the potential for a really special race coming up at the beginning of November. It's been a pleasure this afternoon to spend it with all of you, and I wish we all could have cashed a few more tickets. But at the end of the day, I have to say I don't want to, satisfying may not be the right word, but I don't feel
satisfied.
No, I don't feel like we were robbed of anything. I feel like the best horse won. And,
I agree.
And that's I'm more interested in those sort of things than if we had to talk about a 70-1 shot that won the race. I would have said, what is there to say? It's chaos. The best horse today won, and good luck to everyone going forward, and good luck to Bram next weekend with kickoff of NFL season.
Thank you. I will not be drinking bourbon all day for the Washington football team versus Philadelphia Eagles season opener. I will not be doing that.
Here, Bram, I brought you another entirely different cat.
Well, you know what? We need this. This is called late shift. We kept Bram to 7:33. He hasn't complained yet. 33 minutes over our expected run time. All right, Bram, because of that, you truly get the
Final thoughts? Cool. Speak for yourself, Matt, on winning tickets. I hit the trifecta there. So thank the Lord for the all button. Thank the Lord for the all button. The all button paid off well today because I wouldn't have picked that 9. And last thought, just living life like Ari and Lauren. That's all. Just living life like Ari and Lauren.
That's the way to do it. Thank you, everyone who tuned in. Incredible viewership and engagement.
What were your thoughts, Dan? You didn't share your thoughts.
Oh no, look, I'm
you're just there to hit the buttons?
Yeah. No, I really seriously just want to thank everyone for tuning in and watching. Also want to thank everyone you see on the screen right now, who each offers really unique individual insights, from handicapping to pedigree to just I don't know what that is.
That was something outside the window of my apartment.
And I also want to thank Greg Churchill, who's behind the scenes, who hates when we.
Thank you, Greg.
Thank you, Greg. And a lot of the video you got to see was, again, from the ABR video team, JD Mitchell and Alex Probst, and Penelope Miller manning all the controls of the social and digital side, in addition to her appearance tonight. So thank you to Penelope. Thank you to our entire team. Thank you to Matt, Ren, and Bram for another spectacular show. We will see you all next time.